Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Touching Tips, a podcast dedicated to the world of PSVR 2. My name is Karen Alive and Well, and I'll be introducing your hosts. From the west of Ireland, he is a visionary, a leader, a sensual and generous lover, as I can attest. Petrifying Pumpkins. Pumpkins was once a successful businessman before a tragic incident left him with stage 2 ligma of the mind. No longer able to run his multinational POG corporation, Pumpkins turned to his other passion, PSVR. Hence this channel and later podcast were born. Pumpkins is famous all over the world thanks to the various Easter eggs dedicated to him in PSVR exclusive Firewall 0 Hour. Most famously, if you go to the hangar map in the air control tower, you will see radar screens with various aircraft designations that, when combined, spell out petrifying pumpkins. It really does make him better than you. From Mexico, he has many names: El Chupacabra, El Fuego, El Pasión. But around here we call him Mr. 777 or Jackpot. Mr. 777 moved to the United States as a wee lad. A former Xbox fan, Jackpot gave up on Team Green when he discovered the future is virtual reality, and has been on PlayStation since. Jackpot lives with his mother in her basement. She reached out to Pumpkins, begging him to let Jackpot be a co-host as she worries about his lack of social communication skills, as you will soon see for yourselves. He turned to marijuana at a young age and has reached a stage where if he were to ever stop smoking, the shock to his system would kill him immediately. Jackpot has a heavily stained pillow that he calls Amanda. He believes that she is real and that he is in a long-term relationship with her. His catchphrase is, "Bitch." And finally, all the way from the frigid wastes of Canada, comes Muzz. Muzz has a passion for maple syrup and discussing PSVR 2. He once got lost in the frozen tundra of northern Canada with his best friend. The ordeal was harrowing and led to Muzz eating the remains of his friend in order to survive. Shortly after, Muzz turned to VR gaming as a way to escape the horrors of the reality he leaves every time he puts on the headset. It's worth noting that while Muzz maintains his best friend was dead before he began to consume him, later studies of the remains hinted at the possibility that the friend died from infections that were caused from bites, though due to a handling error, the evidence was deemed inadmissible and Muzz walked free. He also has a cat. Without further ado, let the show begin. I've been Karen Alive and Well, and I will now hand you over to the strong, sexy hands of Pumpkins. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and all that usual YouTube shite.
What the fuck is this?
Test.
Testing.
No more echo this time. Test.
Testicles.
I think it's better. Tell me if it's loud. Damn.
My mic is low. Someone said my mic is low. I don't know. Can't get any
Get closer.
Yeah. I gotta sit like this.
Lick it, Muzz. Nice.
He just loves this country.
Pumpkins? Oh my god, you don't have sound? Wait, hold on. I think I'm being.
Can anyone
side
else
is it?
confirm other than Donnie that?
It's the
Sorry.
side.
Oh, chop.
So hold on.
Test. Sorry about that. That was my fault. Yeah, I forgot to change my mic. I was using the stupid the wireless one.
All right. Can they hear you now? Did you fix it?
Should be able to hear me now. But let me just. Donnie, how could you give me a good on the test? How could you tell me the test was fine? You couldn't even hear me. God damn you, Don. I can't trust you ever again now. Although then you did say can't hear pumpkins. Anyway. You didn't miss anything too important. Basically, just thank you for enjoying the intro. You know, I'm glad you enjoy it. Is the mic too loud? Turn it down a little bit more just in case. Dylan says we can't hear them. Okay, well, this is what's going on. You should be able to. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Is it just because I'm talking? Did I, Dan? Moz, tell us about just your week since we last talked to you, so then we can use this as a
I
test.
started vacation this week.
Damn.
2 weeks.
They can't hear us though, right?
They should be able to hear, but this is a test, so go on. Like the bar is bouncing up and down when you talk, so there's no reason for them not to hear.
Well, someone said I was quiet, so I couldn't be quiet, and you can't hear me at all.
Well, there you
Doesn't
go.
make any sense.
Well, Deadeye Dan is just old. You know, keep in mind that he could have the hearing aid turned off.
Turn up the hearing aid.
Yeah, plug it in. Charge them hearing aid batteries.
Divert power.
Dan, we can hear everyone.
Divert power.
Oh, he
from
said
the
we
patient
can
to
hear
your-
them. Sorry, that was my fault completely. That was
Oh
my
my
fault. He
God.
said we can hear them.
Oh my.
Get the eyesight checked.
I need my glasses. I need to get glasses. Sorry about that, Dan. I made you look. I dragged your reputation through the mud for nothing. Nice.
And
Enjoy
you'll
your
do it again.
vacation. Oh yeah, so Moz, sorry I interrupted you. What happened? What's going on with the week? What are you doing for your week off? Or is it 2 weeks? What are you doing?
I got 2 weeks off, and I lucked out because Ultra comes out next week.
Nice.
Damn.
2 weeks.
Everything worked out
Damn.
perfectly for him.
Out of the maple syrup mines for 2 weeks. It's good to
Yep.
get it out of
You
your
already
lungs.
pre-order it, Muzz?
Powered down there. Yes, I did.
You got the regular version or you got the...
No, getting the deluxe.
You
How
gotta
can I not
support.
get the
You
deluxe?
have to support Hess. He's out in the streets. We gotta get a roof over his head. You know, we gotta go digital deluxe or nothing. Poor Frank. All of them.
I wish they would release like
Almost.
if you can go to the store, a physical version, you know, at the same time as a digital.
Yeah, I wonder why they're not doing
That'd be
that
cool.
because they had physical for the first one, I think.
But did they have it released?
That's what I'm just
I don't
trying to think.
so,
Maybe
right?
they didn't. Maybe they didn't. But
Yeah.
eventually they got one. They sent me a signed copy. Remember that? Of course you do. How could you forget?
The only thing they give you.
Shut your mouth, Jackpot. How many Easter eggs? How many Easter eggs do you want me to tell you about? Anyway, same question
You're
for
gonna
you,
get a
Jackpot.
review code? Are you gonna get a early
No,
review code?
because nobody's getting an early review code. First of all, it's done by Sony, so
Can't
it's
play.
outside of their hands. And secondly,
Oh yeah.
nothing.
You can't play, it's online.
Yeah, it's all online, so you can't do it early unless they arranged, you know, private. Like all the reviewers meet up together to do a thing, but that's all, you know.
If
Anyway,
you don't
it's
get
all
a signed
Sony.
copy this time, though, it's
I don't know.
clearly you had a falling
I
out.
don't
You had
know.
a falling out.
We'll see.
It's all downhill.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Jackpot, how was your week? Anything happen?
No. Have a little bit of a week off. I'm starting it. I'm gonna start working on Dreams.
Didn't you say that like 2 weeks
It's
ago?
been. I know, bitch, but I have to keep
How many weeks off you getting?
postponing my vacation because things happen and I end up working. But
Okay.
I think now this time for sure.
Well, you might as well
For
postpone
real.
us another week now to get Firewall week off. That's what you want to do. Time it.
But I'm good. I don't really. I should be plenty of time to play.
Okay. All right. Relax. Just take
I'm
it
worried
easy.
about you.
Don't get so
'cause
angry.
You're the
all
one
right?
that is like, oh, it depends. And
I've been
depends on
playing
this. Depends on
Pavlov
that.
every night. What are you talking about? Every night I'm streaming. All right.
Well,
That's nothing's
see.
going to change. It's going to be between. The only problem with me is going to be between Phasmophobia and Firewall Ultra.
well,
And
we'll see.
people are going to be fighting. They're going to be wanting this one when I'm playing the other one, and vice versa.
Let them fight.
You know.
Let
Well, that's how I get off. Muzz. It's all coming together.
Just watching the comment section.
Yeah, that's he can't. There's a reason you can't see my nipples in this camera feed right now. Just
You
out
should
of
put-
frame.
you should-
Just out of frame. Chop says I go on vacation, so I won't be. I go on vacation. Oh, you're going away for vacation, so I won't be able to ultra till I'm home. Well, that'll give you more time to heal up. Did you know that Chop fell down the stairs?
Damn, he did?
Yeah,
Because he's old or
I assume
the
so.
stairs are
I
sketch?
assume so.
Damn.
But he's
Sucks, Chop.
hurt his back. He can't stand up.
No fucking way, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If
Damn.
maybe he can stand up for a certain amount of time, but he can't play VR yet.
Right, no, but that's still pretty serious. That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, at least he got the Wheaties to help him, but yeah, that
I'm
sucks.
sure
Sorry,
that's why
Chop.
he slipped. That's why he slipped. 100. He didn't even
Because
know.
it
He
was
saw
not
an
enough in the
escalator.
system.
He thought it was an escalator. It wasn't moving.
Maybe he has some stairs that are like literally almost impossible to go down safely unless
Don't
you
be
have a very
ridiculous.
high
Don't be
IQ. So,
ridiculous.
you know. So- anyways, sorry, Chop.
Danny says if you get the regular version of Firewall Ultra, you're still going to have to buy the op pass to play PvP. No, the op pass is not to play PvP, Donnie. The op pass is like for the first season. Whenever the first season comes out, it'll give you access to the, the unlocks, the cosmetics, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you just need the regular PlayStation
Plus
for your online play.
Yep.
That's like
correct. So Justice, how you
like
doing?
everything else.
Yeah, that's something I don't know if I said this before, but I don't think any VR game should need PS Plus to play online. They need to remove every obstacle as possible, and maybe when it gets popular enough, then do it. But don't.
Why
put
are we
any
even
obstacles
paying?
up.
Why are we even paying at all? Like in the
Xbox.
PC, you don't pay.
Xbox. They started it on Xbox, and then people on Xbox were doing it, and then Sony was like, "Hey, wait a minute, these idiots are paying for things on Xbox, so we'll charge these as idiots as well," and they did.
Well, what about you? You're playing. I mean, yeah, sure, Xbox, but what about PlayStation? I mean, Xbox does it too, but the subscription stuff everybody's doing. Right now, it's only $5 extra, but look at Netflix. It started at like what, $5 or something. Now it's like $8. So if we go into this streaming stuff, I think they're just gonna lock us in there and then just continue to put the prices up and up and up and
Well,
up.
I'm in
And
the
I
same
think
boat as you. I'm against it. I'm against the Game Pass.
That's gonna suck.
Like everyone's sucking off the Game Pass. I'm against it. I think it's a bad thing in the long run. Good thing in the short run.
Yep.
Which is a bit of a tangent. But Muzz, seeing as we're on the topic already, do you have an opinion on that?
I just want to have more PlayStation VR options for my money as well.
There you go.
This PlayStation Plus.
We need a
nice.
PSVR 2 game every month for the monthly games. Why not?
Yeah.
Why can't we have this? Get ready to
I
die,
think we have
people.
plenty
says
of-
SDS.
Plenty of games.
Make it more enticing to people on the fence about buying it. Hey, I can get some free games every month or even every couple
Exactly.
months. Put one on there.
People building up a library like Firewall or Zero Hour was on that. Maybe
Exactly.
it could have been 2 years after it was out, but still, it was a good game to have on it. Space Denizen said, "I got Firewall Zero Hour for $20 because GameStop printed the wrong price. Ha ha ha." Damn, you just took the food out of Frank's mouth, Space Denizen. All right. How can you laugh at that? Solid
Damn.
Justice says, "I'm good. How are you guys doing?"
Just imagine it.
Fantastic. PC has spoiled me, says LSB. Oh shit, it's David Jagno. He says, "Can't stay long, just dropping by to say 8 days hype." David Jagno, thank you very much for stopping by, and good luck with the launch.
What was that?
This is a First Contact Entertainment. I'm going to get the title wrong, but I think it's a head of communications and strategy.
Head
perhaps, or
of
something like that.
communications.
Head.
I like that title.
So
There he is.
he bosses Frank around then. He bosses Frank
I don't know. Donnie says, "I don't know about monthly, but if they brought all the PSVR games to PSVR 2, they would have plenty to give away. They sure would." Alright, so are we ready for the first topic? Is there anything else we want to waffle on about?
Waffle on.
I like
You don't have
waffles.
waffle? You don't say that word?
Not like
like
that.
You don't.
Not
okay.
like that. But that one makes sense. The other one
yeah.
you said the other day, like to fuck or whatever, that did not make sense at all.
David Jagno says, "Now Frank and I are partners in crime."
Part-
There you go. It's a
You're
50-50
just-
partnership.
David's just
So
the
you're
man
taking-
behind the scenes.
You're taking the food out of David's mouth as well, Space Denizen. Don't you try and rip off GameStop. Well, actually, GameStop are gone in Ireland now. We
Really?
don't have them. We don't have them anymore. They all closed down like a couple of months ago.
A lot of ours are closing too.
Yeah, it's over.
And it's,
Digital
we had
only.
EB Games. We had EB Games, and then they switched to GameStop, and they closed like more than half of them when they changed to GameStop, and it's just a few of the big mall stores that are left.
David says he's got 2 kids that are starving now. I think about that. Try and sleep tonight, Space Denizen. Try it. First thing on the list is tennis.
Tennis.
Tennis on court. Coming to PSVR 2 on the 20th of October. We knew this game was coming already, but I think the news here is that it's the 20th of October. It's got a release date. They also detailed a few modes and whatnot. It has a 1v1 mode or a 2v2 mode plus a training mode. And you can play all that online. It also has 13 rackets with different properties, 6 stadiums with different surfaces such as grass, hard surface, and clay, which change how the ball bounces and stuff. It also has a spectator mode so that you can just sit and watch other people play if you want. You can customize your avatars, and based on this trailer alone, you can see him like bouncing the ball in his rackets. I think like the physics look fairly decent. But what do you think? You interested in this Wii Sports style?
I kind of am. I think if it functions how it should, I think it could be a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
I think
Like
with being able to play 4-player co-op, like 2 against 2, and then it also has that that spectator mode. I don't know where the spectators are standing. If they're
well, maybe it's
watching
like
or if they're in the...
if you can do 2v2, maybe you can have like 2 spectators watching a 1v1 match.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's just a complete guess. I don't know.
It'd be cool if you could have a few people in the standby, and then you could just kind of take turns. Like winner stays on the court, the other team goes on and
or
plays
organize a
and
tournament or something.
Yeah,
Right.
That'd be cool.
I'm way more interested in this than C Smash. That's for sure.
Oh damn!
Fuck a C Smash.
This man doesn't know his games at all. C Smash is like a futuristic, well, like it looks really retro in style. It was like based on a Dreamcast game.
PSVR 2?
PSVR 2, yeah, exclusive. Wasn't it exclusive? I think it is. C Smash.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, you say this looks better than that?
Well, this
It
looks
looks
more
fine.
realistic, I think.
I played the demo. You can try out the demo for C Smash for free. Give it a try. Like it's pretty fun.
It's
but,
got.
I mean,
You've got to aim the ball at certain like segments
Okay,
behind
but it's
other
like
players.
futuristic and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like a super hot style to it.
I used to play tennis, so
Damn, Muzz.
more
Secrets revealed. Secrets revealed. Did you say juice?
juice.
No, don't they say juice or something like that when the scores are tied? They say juice.
Fucking idiot.
What the hell are you
Isn't
talking
it
about?
deuce?
Me and my friend used to play
Something like
that.
that.
We said juice. We used to
Juice.
whisper juice to each other. When we were
I don't
playing.
know.
Anyway, a bit random. I don't know. I'm worried. Like, do I have enough play space? Muzz, you've criticized my play space in the past, but do you think I'm I'm afraid I
No.
won't?
You'll break the
think-
hand.
This game you might need some substantial play space. I think
Yeah.
because you're gonna be swinging everywhere.
Swanging that thing.
Especially if you want to actually enjoy it and feel like you're doing it.
I'd be
Because
afraid.
it's like Muzz says, it all depends on the physics and if it works fine. Because the game, what was it, Racket Fury or something like that on the PSVR, the table tennis one. The physics were pretty good, and if you have the good play space, it feels a lot different than if you have like your tiny room. Because even though you can play, it's not the same. The immersion is not the same. And even if you have a big space, for me at least, it took me a while to get used to it. Because even though I had the space, I still felt sketchy, like I was gonna hit something. But yeah, I think I've seen your room and you scan your stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like a New York apartment.
Yeah, it's
you know?
rough. It's rough in here. Maybe that's why it gets so hot in here, because it's just a tiny.
And if
little
you were
box.
worried about
You and all the body heat, you know.
Sweat.
if you were
all that
worried about
juice.
hitting stuff playing table tennis, imagine playing tennis like an actual tennis
Yeah.
where you're
Well,
like
Yeah.
actually
even-
moving around more.
Last night we were playing gun game, and I got the stab at the end of gun game with the knife. I like smashed my hand against the wall doing that because I
Yeah.
physically wanted to stab him really bad. So yeah, I don't know if this game is suitable for me, even though it looks really good. And I liked Wii Sports, the tennis game, and that. So
I just hope
Think of-
I just hope they can give us those controllers to buy separately before I actually
Jesus,
break
yeah.
one of my controllers. Because it's gonna happen to me
Right.
too. I do hit my controllers off of things a little too much, and
Mm-hmm.
one of these days it's just gonna be all over for one of them.
I mean, just look at the
I think
design.
I think a lot of these games, like this one looks, if you like tennis, it looks pretty good, right? And even if you don't really play a lot of tennis, it's still pretty fun to play around, especially multiplayer. But I think what will change this game and a lot of games is making it more social, like you said, Muzz, and you guys said it. Like if you give us the ability, let's say if it's 2v2, right? But let's say you can have up to 8 players in a lobby, right? And the rest of the people just sit on the stands and they can obviously yell and interact. And then like Muzz says, you can do different tournaments, rules. Okay, whoever loses, okay, the next 2 go in there and then the other people just wait on the stands and do the spectator mode. I think that itself will make it a lot more fun and appealing to a lot of people, especially like the streaming and playing together.
I see. LSB says it looks like you don't move, but instead are teleporting. But I think that's just the way the trailer is cut together. Like it's not showing the movement. Although I'm sure the movement is controlled by a stick, and it might have snap or jump or whatever you call it, teleport.
It would have to have smooth, an option for smooth locomotion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you could play a tennis game with teleporting.
It'd be weird.
Like, how are you gonna? Yeah, how would you like?
Unless it
line up
locks
your
you,
shots if
like
you're-
does it lock you to a line you can only move left and right? Maybe would do that, but even then, I mean,
hope
you're
not.
ruining the game by doing that. It's not really tennis, then, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually do like the animations for the characters look pretty decent as well. Like they don't look janky. They actually look like they're moving like people would move. Like
And is it full?
That's one
Like
thing.
I'm only seeing the racket, but is that full body? Do you think? Oh no, I can just see it's floating hands. It's floating hands, but you can see the full body of the opponent.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like the
think.
guy on the other side,
Yeah.
you can see the other guy hitting
Right.
the ball back.
But it's floating.
But is
hands
that
too.
the single player guy, or is that how the multiplayer is gonna look?
Good question.
The multiplayer is gonna be a ghost figure.
Maybe it
on the
will
other
just
side.
be two floating
No
hands
legs.
as
All right.
Maybe.
well. Maybe, but then the fact that it's like
Headset.
they say like it has avatar customization. So what's the point in that if it's just going to be?
Yeah, there's your character standing
Right.
there, right? Like you can make your different outfits and stuff. It looks like.
So hopefully they're viewable online. But if you're into that anyway, I don't really care too much about
Damn.
customization personally.
The crowd
Cold hearted.
Crowd looks horrible, but who really cares about what the
I didn't
crowd
even see
thinks? I mean,
Gran Turismo 2
whatever.
style stains.
That's
So
not
it
important,
looks
though,
decent
I
enough.
guess.
I don't know if it has a price yet. I don't know if they mentioned it.
Yeah, price
but,
will be a big thing as
what
well.
would you pay for this?
I think $25. 25 bucks.
I think that'll be fair. 25 bucks, yeah. But I feel like a lot of these people, the developers right now, and it makes sense, right? Because it's PSVR 2, they're making it more expensive than I feel like it should be, like a little bit, like extra 10, 15 bucks. Some of the games, I feel like. But not all of them. Firewall,
ports?
it was the opposite. Yeah, most of the time sports. Yeah, if there's sports from PC or Quest, I know there's more to it, right? In the PlayStation VR, especially with the controllers and all that. But I still feel like it's a lot more a lot of the times. Except, like I said, when it comes into ports. But Firewall did surprise me, honestly, when it comes into the price, because I would have paid full price. And I don't want to say because Frank and they're gonna scream, but I'll probably pay
Big
$60 full price for that game. Without the other stuff. So yeah, I was happy that it's that cheap. I don't want to say
David-
cheap, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
David's running to tell them right now. Hey guys, hey
Up
guys.
it, up it quick.
Change the
Up by
fucking
20,
price.
Up by 20.
Fire, who did that? Frank? Who said we should sell for 39?
Just get a message saying your pre-order has been cancelled. Please
Well, it's just
re-pre-order.
because I like it and I'm a fanboy. But yeah, I think the price is very appealing. Pretty good.
It is. I was surprised by that too. I was not. I thought 50 minimum, like up by
Yeah,
10.
I think it was over
inflation or whatever. Chop said he'd pay $10 for the tennis game, but Chop, you wouldn't be
Damn.
physically able to
Can't
do it
even
with your
play.
back.
Yeah.
That's going to kill your back. Donnie says if this plays as smooth as C Smash and people can watch, that sounds intriguing. I've heard a lot of good things about C Smash. Move on to the next thing then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there was a few other things about the tennis game, like
Oh, sorry.
it's pretty like with the rackets, like how like you have a lot of different rackets with different properties. I don't really know what that means, but I guess maybe like more power, more control, all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. What did it say? One sec. I scroll down. 13 rackets
13
with
rackets.
different properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't go into
Different
details of what it was. So you would
Has all the
imagine.
different. Yeah.
I wonder, is there like some rackets that are just better than others, or is it like it
Well,
depends
you
on
tell
the
me, Muzz,
situation?
what's the difference in the rackets that you can buy?
Well, I know like if the racket is like strung tighter, it's gonna hit harder. Like you can get more power with certain rackets, but I don't know like 13 different rackets. How 13 rackets can have different properties. I don't know enough about tennis for that.
13
Right.
power levels.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe some of them are more suited to different surfaces or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, that's true. It has the different surfaces like grass, clay, and hard, all that kind of
Or
stuff.
they can just make stuff up. Like one of them does better. I don't even know if you can do like not curve the ball, but you know what I mean, like spin, right?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
some
yeah.
rackets
Yes.
give you better spin. I don't know.
And you can slice the ball to make it
Right.
spin,
I bet it'll be
or
like
do it
a
Or
unicorn
doing drop shots at the front. Maybe you need less tension on the rackets.
Right.
Or just be cosmetic shit like this one shoots a fireball out and this one has a rainbow trail coming off the ball's ass or something like that.
God.
You never know. You never know.
I hope it does well. I would like to see more sports games. Like I think there's lots of sports that can. Other than we have the skateboarding game.
I'd consider Gran Turismo 7 a sport game as well, but maybe many other people wouldn't.
Yeah, what sports games do we have on PlayStation VR 2?
I think a snowboarding game would be really good. Snowboarding would work pretty.
If you're gonna have the skateboarding, then you gotta have the snowboarding too. Skiing, all those will be a good fit. But as for what's already out there, I don't think there's too much. Like, did that American football one get ported over? It was on the PSVR, like 2MD or something.
But most of them are single player, right? I don't think we have multiplayer.
I don't think, other than like Sea Smash.
Right. But we need that not mini golf.
Mini golf. Mini golf counts.
No, yeah, right. But and that's probably why. And again, that game is so good because it's a good game, solid game. But the graphics are not the best. But it's just the multiplayer aspect makes it a lot better too. So I think we need more of that. If we get everybody's golf that we had or whatever the name was, but multiplayer, we add golf carts to it. Can you imagine how fun that would be? Just driving around.
That's what I was just about to say. If you actually have a full golf game and you have the carts to go along,
fuck around, and drive around, and go crazy.
There is a game
customize your car with different like little knickknacks and your clubs with different stuff.
There you go. That's exactly
what you can cover with.
Reason to play, things to unlock for your golf cart and make it decked out.
And your character too. You can customize your character. There's a shop that you can buy different hats, different stuff. Maybe there's a barber shop you can get different haircuts and shit. Like there's a lot of stuff that I think they could do, but
let's just go make a game. Let's go make a game.
Golf Plus.
Tell has to give you a couple 100,000.
There's a game. Listen, there's a game called Golf Plus coming to PSVR 2, and it's more of a serious type of. I don't know if I'd say simulation, but like it's like more serious.
Played it.
Oh, you have? You don't think it's good?
No, it's good, but it's not what we talk about. That would be the ultimate fucking golf game. I feel multiplayer, but it is a good full on full golf game. But it doesn't have like carts that you can drive or anything like that. I think it does have multiplayer, and that's gonna be good. It's a step up from what we had before, right? Because now we have multiplayer. But man, that would be so fun. I think if we can have customizable shit, cards.
What you want is GTA 5 online in VR. You can play golf on that. You can drive golf carts around. That's the game we need. It has every game in that game.
Sure, yeah. But they can just do the golf one and I'll be fine. They don't have to do the game now. They can do the whole game.
Danny says different rackets play different as far as spin and power, with the different turf types will play differently as well as personal play styles.
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go.
Makes sense.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. I don't know where he's sourcing that from, but I assume he did some research.
His brain.
You can hear how uninterested Pumpkin is in this game. I'm not uninterested in this, although I feel like I won't be able to play it for physical reasons.
I think I need more space myself too. Like. I think I need to change locations if I need to play some tennis. Outside of tennis, out of the major sports, what sport do you guys think would translate to VR the best?
Well, Chopped mentioned it there. Baseball. Surely that would be good. I don't like baseball at all. I don't even understand the rules or whatever. It's an American-only sport. Take down that flag behind you. But I'd like to play as in VR. It seems like a suitable game for VR. Hit a ball or hit the stick with the ball.
Yeah.
Well, I think
people in the outfield don't have to move around too much. You just have to look up and catch the ball, and
it might be boring if you're playing those roles, though, wouldn't it be? Like, surely
hard to say.
There's a lot of sports games in the Quest. There's a bowling game on the Quest that it's multiplayer and it's pretty good. There's a lot of different games that I think they can just port them to.
Isn't there a basketball game coming? Blacktop something?
I think there's a basketball game, and I heard it has, like, when people played it, I think they have, not bad things to say about it. Not like, oh man, it's amazing, but it seems hard. Like, how the fuck do you make a basketball game to work? But apparently it works. It's kind of like the skateboard. How do you make a skateboard work with controllers? But apparently they say that it works fine.
They're
So
doing like at the trailer,
assuming
it's
it's
all
the same
slam
thing.
dunks and shit, fancy tricks. And whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of sports games that they already have on the PC or the Quest that they can just port, because we don't have many. I think on the PlayStation VR too.
And all the early sports games are all kind of rough anyway. Like it's gonna be quite a while before we see any like refined big sports advantage of like
You
bells
know,
and whistles like flat games do.
you know what was a good sport game on PSVR 1? The disc golf game in Rec Room. That shit was tight.
Yeah,
That
it was.
shit was tight.
It was actually kind of fun.
Never
Yeah. Yeah, the disc golf. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
That was good.
It was hard as shit though to fucking throw, and that was the fun part, I think.
Yeah, with them shitty controllers, it was hard as shit. LSB's not interested in tennis at all. Chopped thinks
Damn,
porn
LSB.
would be great, but I don't think. Is there competitive porn out there? There could be. Who finishes first? Who comes
Someone gets
second?
Sony to
I
start.
always
Someone
come
made-
second. Sorry, go on.
Disgusting.
Playing basketball.
Sony has-
Sorry.
Sony has to get on. Sony has to get on that making that porn game.
Yeah.
Man, we can't even get big screen VR. I don't think they'll do the porn one.
Where
That'll
the
be
film
cool.
is.
It would be cool. Of course it would. We'd all play it too. You gotta be. You
course.
gotta control the
Pre-order.
sperm, then find
All
the
the
egg.
editions.
You're in the floppy tubes. Playing basketball in breacher lobbies is broken but fun. Can't you play basketball in Phasmophobia lobby as well?
Well, like a little, like you know those little
Play
ones that they
Jenga.
sell
You
for
can
little
play Jenga.
kids. The Jenga's good though. Fucking,
is
you
Jenga
can
a
play
sport?
Jenga. You can play Home Alone Simulator.
What do you mean?
can
Home Alone
play-
Simulator. What's that?
Dude, if you were to watch the streams, there's the
Oh,
you
when
know,
you're
the
knocking
Jenga's, like on the
buckets,
second
you're
floor.
knocking traps and shit down on each other. Okay, sorry.
Not traps. It's like the movie Home Alone.
Yeah, well,
throws the
he makes
bricks.
booby traps. You know, well, bricks and paint buckets and all that kind of shit. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but
I get
anyways,
it.
whatever. But yeah, there's basketball, but it's different because Breachers, there's a full basketball court, and then in Phasmo, it's just a little one that you buy for your kids that you hang on the door with the little ball.
But it works. Chop says Spark was good. Did you play Spark on PSVR 1? That was good.
Yeah, it's like floating space.
Yeah, you had to
no
throw the
gravity,
ball, and
kinda,
they
yeah.
had to shield us, and you had to get the
Didn't
ball
they
behind
cancel
you.
that game, or they're like?
Yeah,
Well, they eventually pulled
Yeah.
support, but
it died.
I played a little bit. It was pretty fun. It was a kind of a workout too.
what about Danger Ball? Remember that? It was on PSVR Worlds. It was one of the demos. You used your head to like smack the ball. It was like Pong, basically, but you were in a futuristic arena. You don't remember
Vaguely.
that?
Vaguely.
Maybe
That would have been
It was
like one of the
one
first
of the first-
games I played.
games that.
Danger Ball. Good shit. It was
Well,
hard.
anyway, clearly hockey would be the best one to translate. So
No,
anyway, next
nobody
topic.
knows the rules. There's a bunch of Canadians.
Hockey.
Donnie's like, change his topic now. I'm sick of hearing it.
Is everybody that's what they like over there, Muzz? Is like the hockey?
It's
Is
a
that like the
national
national
sport, isn't it?
sport?
Hockey's kind of big up here, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay.
What's the second biggest sport over there, Muzz?
Soccer.
Baseball, all the sports are popular, I guess. But
Yeah, but mainly hockey. Makes
You-
sense because
you
it's
watch-
cold as
Not-
shit over there, huh?
Were you watching
basketball's pretty good.
the Women's World Cup, Muzz? Canada played Ireland. You bet us. You bet us. That was their first World Cup, and you bet us, bastards. Anyway.
They lost. I thought they lost the last.
Oh, you got knocked out, but you bet us before you got knocked out. Maple tapping, says Chopped. Competitive maple tapping.
That would be too extreme. People couldn't handle it.
Tears. The stakes are too high. All right, moving on to the
Yeah.
next topic, which is Ven VR. Now, the footage I have playing is from the Quest version, so maybe the footage we'll be getting, or the version we get on PSVR 2, will be a lot better looking than this. But let me just read out the details real quick. Ven VR is coming to PSVR 2. It was out years ago on PC and is already out on Quest 2, as you can see with the footage. It's a 90s inspired platformer along the lines of like Crash Bandicoot or whatever. It plays something like Moss or Astrobot, where you're like you're watching the little guy go around and you're a big guy who does other shit. Main character looks like a man in a furry suit, is what I've written down here, and he does. If you've seen the art, it does look like a man with this furry suit with the, you know, how they got the creepy smiles and stuff on their face. And
That's Suki.
could be. He's not denying it. I don't see him denying it. And apparently this was planned for PSVR 1, but it seems like that might have been cancelled. and now it's a PSVR 2 title.
Official release? They're gonna release it now?
There's no date, but it's officially coming. I think. At least I don't think there's a date. My research couldn't turn up a date. I'm not interested in platformers really, but
you're not.
Thoughts? Not really. No. Like I never even finished Astrobot.
Not even if Astro.
Not even Astro. Well, I liked the PS5 Astrobot because it was doing really cool shit with the controller. And it was really
So
short.
if they bring a new Astrobot with the stuff for the controllers now, PSVR 2, you
Yeah, I'll probably go back to it because I really liked it on PS5. But in general, I don't really like platformers. You know, I don't play Nintendo games. Not really into Mario. It's like, you know, it feels old to me. That type of game feels old to me. You know.
What?
It feels like, you know, this is from the 90s. You know, I've moved on to big boy
weird.
games. I've moved on to big boy games. All right.
What's a big boy game? Like what?
Firewall 0.
Okay,
You know, it's a big penis
But
game.
platformers in VR are so much better in VR than flat screen.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I don't play.
everything's better in
play
VR.
platformers in flat screen either. This looks like more like Astrobot because the camera follows, like the camera goes along with them instead of being stationary.
I think for what it is, it looks good. If you're into platformers,
Looks
I think they work pretty good in VR. To be honest, I think it works pretty good.
Just a question.
I'm not really into. I mean, I kind of feel like you. Yeah, it feels a little old, the platform games, but they're still pretty good. I'm not as much into them, but like Muzz says, in VR, it makes it a lot better. So it's not like I'm gonna run and buy this game because I'm like you, not really as interested on it. But I think it looks good for what it is.
The thing for me is like I feel like if I was playing this and somebody walked in and saw me playing this, I'd like change the channel and act like I wasn't playing it. That's the kind of game.
You feel embarrassed.
You quickly switch it over to porn. Yeah.
Game hardcore
Like,
game
I'm a
porn.
man. Where are my kids came from?
Yes. Not even lying.
If it's priced okay, I'd be interested in buying it.
What's the price? What's the right price
I
for
say
this?
it's gonna be $29.99.
I'll say
No
it's
higher,
gonna be.
no higher than 30.
Sorry,
That's
I
how
had to
much
say
it's gonna
My
be.
only worry about this one is I think the main character's supposed to like say stuff and talk to you. I think
Ooh.
that annoying. That's
Disgusting.
what would make me not want to play it. I like
Like he
Astrobot
speaks
because
English,
you're
like you
gonna
mean?
talk. Yeah, like he'll like say stuff during the game and make comments and stuff as you play. As far as I know.
Bigoted comments.
Is that
They
true?
learn-
I'm not sure if
They
I'm
should have
remembering
learned
that
from
right or
Crash
not.
Bandicoot where he just makes noises like "whoa," you know,
Yeah, well,
or Super Mario even. He's just like "oh,
Astrobot
whatever he
didn't-
says.
Astrobot didn't
That
say
does
anything.
not sound
See-
nothing like
The
nothing.
secret is to keep them mute. That's the secret, you know, or give them gibberish to say.
Like The Sims.
We don't want to hear about like a 30-year-old man's voice coming out of this fucking furry suit, you know.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Astrobot was quiet and Moss was quiet.
Mhm.
So, or not Moss. What was the mouse's name? Quill. Quill was quiet
yeah.
as well.
Porn
But
over
yeah.
platformers, says Pumpkins. And get that shit on a t-shirt. Porn over platformers. LSB says foghorn leghorn sounding ass. That's exactly what he sounded like. He said I say 3 times in a row and I just couldn't ignore that. Deli Dan says PS Plus game, but still won't play. That's the problem, is it's not even going to be a PS Plus game. That's the sickening part, because they won't put these games on PS Plus.
I think
Donnie-
eventually they will.
Donnie says Trover and all the other in that game spoke all the time. That's true, but I'd say, I know Trover is a platformer, but it feels more like a comedy than a platformer. It's a
Yeah.
weird genre.
Yeah.
All of his games, that Squanch games, they seem like comedies more than actual games, even though they're games.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah.
if this character's voice is annoying and he's talking all the time, that's kills it.
Mm.
Never buy it.
I'm gonna
Unless
get
there's
this-
a mute option. Unless there's a mute option to like shut him up. Or
That'd be
something.
nice. I'm gonna get this filth off the screen now and move on to the next topic, if you don't mind.
I know that was painful for you to
Yeah,
talk
just
about.
have to-
and
listen, we're
What if you get a
struggling
review
for
copy
topics.
though?
I don't want
Grateful.
it. I don't want it.
Jeez.
Next topic is Ghosts of Tabor, which is something I'm always interested to talk about. Not a huge amount to say, but it hit a milestone on the App Lab, which is kind of like an early access thing on Quest. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's made $3 million on the App Lab, and it's been sold for $20 each. So I did the maths. I got a calculator. I divided and I multiplied, and that works out as 150,000 units sold if they were all sold at 20. But that's just the Quest version now. It's also on PC.
That's just the Quest version, yeah. The
But
PC.
surely that's the big one. That's the one that most people are playing on.
Right, but yeah, it's probably I'll say Quest. Yeah.
And when I was researching this, I was looking up on it was an Upload VR article, and they mentioned at the very end of their article that it's coming to other platforms, and they mentioned PSVR 2 in early 2024, and that's the first time I've seen it written down. So I looked for an official confirmation of the delay. Last I heard, it was coming in the third quarter of 2023. I've heard nothing about it since. But
Summer.
According to them, it's early 2024. So I don't know if they got it wrong, or maybe I just missed the delay announcement or something.
Right.
As long as it comes out working properly, that's all that matters.
This is going to be buggy as hell.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
Nah.
In a good way.
I
Like
don't think it's gonna.
DayZ buggy, you know?
Do we know
I think it's buggy right now, but they're gonna test it out. Like Quest is gonna be the people that test the game, the bugs, and then whenever the PSVR 2 version comes out, it's gonna be a lot better, I think.
Well, once October comes, that's quarter 4. So if it's coming out in quarter 3, it has to be out September on PSVR 2.
I don't think it's gonna be out that quick.
All right. Well, then there's a delay happening somewhere that hasn't been announced officially that I'm aware of.
We'll see.
But yeah, good news. Is that a lot? Is 150,000 a lot? Yeah, I mean, 3 million sounds like a lot. $3 million, but then
Listen.
you break it down to 150.
If they sell 2 copies, I don't care as long as the reviews are good. And this game has good reviews. It's not perfect. It has glitches here and there, but even with that, it has pretty good reviews. I think it's maybe, I don't know, 70% or something like that. And I think the concept is it's different. It's something different. It's not just your regular shooter, right? And you can really mess with people, and I think this is gonna be really, really fun to play.
Me too.
Really, really
Me
fun.
three,
All the
guys.
customization.
Do we know how many players can be on a map on this one? Do you guys know?
Did I hear 16?
I
16
think so, and I think
I
it's
could be
squads of
wrong.
3, right?
I remember being a little bit disappointed when I heard the maximum amount. So
Right,
I
but
feel
that's on the
maybe
Quest.
16 or 15.
We'll see.
But that's
Maybe
no,
in
it's
the
on
PSVR
PC. It's
2
on,
they'll
it's on
have more.
PC too. Like it's limited on the PC.
Mm.
Germ is
Well, it
over
also
here.
depends on the. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Germ says the third quarter was on their roadmap from a while back, but they've said that roadmap is out of date.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. But they gave no further clarifications on what part is out of date. Germ. 12. Okay, so Germ says maximum of 12 on the big map, 6 on the small maps, squads of 3. So maximum of 12. So that's even worse than I imagined. But it's still going to be good,
It
obviously.
actually might be okay because you don't want to in a game like that. You don't want to run into people like all the time because
Right.
you would just lose your shit all the time. Like you
Well,
would
it
just be
depends on the size of the map too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
even like he says a big map, but I think the big map isn't, huge. We'd probably consider it small compared to, any other open world design map or whatever, like a DayZ or extraction shooter, which is what this
Right.
is.
Well, and I think it also depends a lot on that, how big it is compared to the amount of people in the gameplay, because I think that's what's gonna either break the game or, if it's a lot of looting and you don't see any, because like I say, PUBG, right? I love PUBG, but sometimes it sucks because you're looting, you're doing all this stuff, you're running around for literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you run around, you get shot in the back, and it's over, right? I just wish, I hope that this game has a balance, right? That it doesn't feel like you're running like Mus says into people right away, but it doesn't take you a miracle to find somebody. It takes you 30 minutes of running around the map to get somebody. I hope that balance is pretty good to make this game a lot more appealing to me. But I'm already pretty excited. I'm ready to buy this game when it comes out.
Yeah, there's nothing
Me
else
too,
like it
right.
really. So on PSVR
Yeah.
anyway. So it's a day one.
It looks fun.
It's a day one.
Definitely a day one for me.
Chop says,
Yeah.
GC for all, 17 marijuana's out. I'll be watching, but I gotta lay down. Chopped, rest yourself. Rest
rest your
yourself.
back.
And thanks for
Did
talking
you
to us
chop?
when you could. Germ says no further info that I'm aware of. Thank you, Germ, for keeping us informed. Appreciate it. So will the size of the maps differ to the amount of people playing, says Donnie.
So it would be four teams of 3. So
yeah. But what about if you just want to do solo and like mess with it? Like, is it going to be squads all the time, or is there going to be like, what if there's like just 12 solo people on a field and they decide to organically team up or betray each other, or do all kinds of stuff?
People from doing that. Yeah, you can team up if you run into someone and then you can team up with them, and then you have the advantage, obviously.
I think that it's gonna be you're gonna have, and I'm hoping you're gonna have the ability to have up to 3 people in your squad, but you can go alone. You can be with 2, because it wouldn't make sense if somebody play alone. Like, you can't play unless you play with random. So I think you're gonna be able to do that, and I don't think that the game is gonna punish you or ban you or you get in trouble if, let's say, that we find another group of people. It doesn't have to be our friends that we don't know, and somehow we just get something going together. Let's get together a
Trade
group.
some
Let's,
beans,
and
beans.
then let's fight against these guys now. I don't think that is not gonna be, because that's the fun thing about this game. I'm assuming, right? All this stuff, or trick them into, hey, yeah, now we're together, give us our stuff, and then help us kill these guys, and then after that we just murder them and steal their shit. Like stuff like that. I think that'll be the fun part of it. Or one of the fun parts of the game.
So heads up, everybody! Don't trust Jackpot when the game.
Oh, everybody knows.
Make him a slave. Make him a slave.
We play plenty of
He's
games.
clearly gonna shoot you in the back.
No
He's already
equipment,
planning
equipment. Make him be naked. Put the handcuffs on and walk in front of everyone. Human shield.
Oh yeah, everybody run away when they see me.
Germ
I'll
says,
make you do a lot of things.
Germ says it's mixed with solos, duos, and trios currently. So that's how it is now. You can be
Nice.
Solos can come up against trios, which
Nice.
I'm sure will be interesting. Anything else to say about Ghosts of Tabor?
No, I want to buy it. I'm probably gonna buy it on the PC. I think Dead Eye Dan says he will get it. Decepticon's a little bitch, like always. He doesn't want to get it.
Why not?
But I know LSB might get it, because he makes his excuses like, oh, I'm tired of. I can't make a Steve-O voice, but I'm tired of all those games about. He has a lot more feminine voice. But he's tired of these type of games, even though we don't have these type of. Say like the crafting survival type of. But I can't. But he wants to play games that are broken. Games that are broken. They have 6 5-star, 5 out of 10 reviews. And then, really quick, we bought the game, right? It was like $6. Decepticon was telling us to buy this fucking game and play it. We bought it. I tried to play it. Didn't work. It was a mess. We couldn't play together. So I was like, fuck this. I'm going to get my refund. It's like, nah, no. So we all got a refund except Decepticon, because he was all butthurt because he wanted to play. So he gave up, and then the next day he's like, oh shit, I can't get a refund. So they stole his money, and then literally the next day they made the game free. So now it's free to play. And they kept the $6. So I told them we should buy this fucking game.
Is the robbery game?
No, it's I don't know, someone's fucking bootleg game.
Barbie's Island.
It looks good if it works. It's one of those one person is the monster or the clown, or I think, and then the other people have to run away. I don't know. It looks good if it works, but it just doesn't work, and the reviews show it. But Decepticon,
Did I dance? Says the $6 game worked for him. So maybe you're lying.
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
You're lying.
It didn't work for me.
Germ
Ghost
says
of Tabor just too intense for Decepticon. He can't handle that
stress.
Gameplay.
Stress.
You can't.
Much
Stress too much.
I think he's getting into Pavlov though, so maybe he'll change his mind. He's getting a taste for the blood. Germ says, I've heard they mentioned being under NDA when asked about PSVR in a recent AMA, but I didn't see it myself. That'd be interesting. Look who's just arrived in the chat. Decepticon says he's just a bitch. I can't get it to work. Smoke the weed up says Minus. How you doing, Mr. Minus? As well. Smoking the weed up. Jackpot has smoked up enough weed for everyone else here, I think. I think Tabor.
You're gonna have to play it for us, Jackpot. You have to buy it and see how it is.
I'm down. I just don't want to play by myself. I hate playing games by myself, especially like this or with random.
Deadeye will definitely buy this.
I think Deadeye will.
Are you saying you're not getting this one?
No, on PC, to play it.
Yeah, now, so I can try it and see what the fucking game plays and all that. I just have to convince Decepticon, LSB, because Decepticon's a bitch. I mean, we all
Deadeye
knew
will-
that, but you know.
Deadeye would 100% buy that.
Oh yeah, Deadeye
Yeah,
is
he's
always
in.
down.
He says he's down to clown.
Deadeye.
It looks really good. I think when this does come out, this is going to be like the big, like people are going to be talking about this on PSVR 2. You know?
Yep.
'Cause there's a lot to it. Like the latest trailer I saw was like, oh, they've added in like a water filtration thing. You get a filter, you stick it into the pipe in your house, and you fill up your water flask that way, and then you've got clean water. So it's like loads of deep, like systems, I suppose, for all kinds of stuff like that.
And just having the little details that you can have, like your base where you could store all your weapons on the walls and stuff that you
Everything you
accumulate.
collect.
Yeah, everything's there to kind of look at and choose what you want
Yeah,
to
like
take.
you
And you can
Prepare.
customize the weapons a lot. Like you can really do the attachments, and it looks pretty cool.
It does.
I'll tell you maybe next week. I'll convince these bitches to buy it.
Do it.
It's only $20, I think. It's not like it's a very. I mean, I know it's $20. It's a lot, but it's not a 60 full price game. So maybe
buy
I'll
it
tell
again?
Lesby.
Would you buy it again on PSVR 2 or just keep the PC one and play? Because it's cross-platform, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would 99% of the time, except Walkabout Mini Golf, because for that it doesn't really matter. But most of the games, I will buy them on the PlayStation VR 2 again, just because I think people, and I underestimated this, the way that it's because just if you ever can play Pavlov in PC and then play Pavlov again, the feedback on the controllers and on the headset when you get shot in the head, it makes so much, like the difference is huge. So I'll buy all those games any day on the like Phasmophobia. That's why I'm like, fuck, give us some info of besides just making it look better, which honestly the PC looks great. But just run smooth, but mainly about again the controllers. What's that gonna do with the vibration on the headset? Like I will really I'll buy the games for sure, especially this game. I'm sure that they're gonna do something
You also got
with the
ease of
controllers as
use.
well.
You also got the ease of use. It's way easier
Exactly.
to turn on the PlayStation and start playing right away kind of thing.
Decepticons
Yep.
said, and I said I was going to wait to buy this
Just mute 'em.
when it's everyone on PS5 who gets it. I didn't read that correctly, but basically he said he's going to get it when people on PS5 get it.
Right, in a year. That's the
I'd
same
say
he
quarter
said
three.
about the Quest
Quarter
3.
3.
He said,
No, not
he
official.
said,
long as
Quest
you
3,
eventually
I'm not
get it.
gonna get one.
As
Maybe
long as he
quarter four.
eventually gets it. That's all.
Germ says there's supposed to be a new city map coming very soon, which I'd like very much. I think the biggest map they have right now is like an island map, which seems very kind of rural, with maybe a few scatterings of buildings here and there, but like a whole big city map, that would be cool. Like I want like both, obviously, but I want more big maps in like Ghost of Tabor to make it as much like Daisy as possible, kind of. Yeah. Anything else to say about Tabor? You
No.
Tabor?
No, I'm
Well,
excited.
then we can
We'll
move
see.
on to Phasmophobia. I always like to talk about Phasmophobia. What the fuck? Oh, that's Moses' camera. Sorry. I was like, why did that go off?
Leave it on. Leave it like that.
So yeah, Phasmophobia. You know how we were talking about when's this big PC update coming? We were speculating it's supposed to come sometime this week. Well, they finally confirmed that it's coming Thursday, the 17th, at specifically like 10 a.m. What's UTC? Some kind of American time. What is that? You've never heard of that, no?
UTC? I don't fucking know. I guess
Universal
I'll figure it out.
time something. I don't know. I assumed it was an American thing that you would know, but I don't know what UTC is.
UTC, it says it's 11:50. It says coordinated universal time. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Anyway, that's the time.
I'm not smart enough for it. Not even close to
Yeah,
understand that.
We know. So basically, no further delay. So that my hope is that means that the late August release for console is still on track. But other than that, they also revealed today the full patch notes of this big massive update, the biggest update they've ever done in the history of Phasmophobia. They're bringing it to 0.9. That's what the version is. So it's still not 1.0, but it's as close as they're getting to
Might as
1.0
well.
as they've got so far, and it's adding a load of shit. I don't
I
know.
was
Did you read
reading
it?
through it. I was reading through it all, and I don't know what the hell they're talking about because I never played it. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, sounds good. Change all that. Awesome.
Jack, what did you look into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like the stuff we talked about, besides a couple other stuff. But I'm still a little worried every time I think about Phasmo. about the whole update with the missing, the voice stuff recognition. And I know some people say it's not that big of a deal. And maybe it won't be once we start playing because it's coming and it'll be like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if we're making more of a deal than it actually is. But yeah, I did read through it. I'm excited. There's a lot of shit. And we'll talk about it more next week because we'll definitely, we already have that game. So we'll play it on Thursday whenever. Is that wait tomorrow, right?
You're not going to wait until the console version? You're just going to test it out in the PC?
Fuck no. Why would I wait?
Just for the full, the purity, the purity of the PlayStation version with the haptic feedback and whatnot.
No, because it's not a new game. Like, let's say, remember when Resident Evil 8 or whatever came out on the PlayStation 5 and you played it and I was like, dude, no, fuck this. I'm going to wait for the PlayStation VR 2 because that's going to be my first experience, right? Some people play the flat version and then they play the VR version. Some people, like LSB, watches a whole video walkthroughs, and then plays it again. So no, I don't care about that because it's gonna be, I just want to play the game. It doesn't make that much difference for this game. So yeah, I'm gonna play it tomorrow if the pitches are down, and then we'll talk about it next week. I'm excited, dude. Phasmo's a good game.
I think it was Decepticon who put a link in the Discord of like a YouTuber who seems to specialize in Phasmophobia, or at least he covers it a lot, and it only went up in like an hour or two, and it already had over 100,000 views. So Phasmophobia, I thought the popularity kind of died off a bit on Phasmophobia, but it seems to be as popular as ever.
Surprisingly, in flat, it's very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's kind of shocking to me, that there's a lot of people outside of VR that are into this game.
Yeah, that was like all the YouTube, like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and all them. They were all playing it flat. And
I think the consoles is going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I know Jacksepticeye. I have seen him playing lots of VR games in the past, and like I bet he wasn't playing VR because the other guys weren't into playing the VR. That's probably
could be. Yeah, I wasn't paying too much attention. Like maybe he was playing as in VR, like every now and again. Yeah. I don't know, but
he always seemed to be a pretty good promoter for VR. Like,
he does. He's into it. Us Irish people know what's up. All right, we know what.
Was he Irish too?
Did you not know that?
I know.
He puts on like a leprechaun voice.
Into the YouTubers.
Warroom says, somebody asked, who was that? On-off button. How you doing on-off button? Will Firewall have vehicles? And no, obviously the question to that is no. Well, not obviously, but if you don't know. But us who know Firewall know that it's not going to be vehicles. However, Warroom's comment saying that it's going to have an AC 130 kill streak made me laugh a little bit to myself.
Kill streaks? Firewall?
Chaos, how you doing? He says, all right, boys, Firewall is coming soon. It is.
It sure is.
Decepticon thinks the Phasmophobia servers are going to crash tomorrow.
Nah.
You don't think so?
You see? He's always negative. God, this guy.
All right. Well, if it's going to crash anytime, it'll be tomorrow after like the biggest update they've ever had. It makes sense.
It's not going to crash. It's going to be fine.
Just relax. Okay. Can you explain how it works again in terms of, is it the same as like mini golf where you make the password and then you join that way on a lobby in Phasmophobia, or how does that work?
Yes, you go and create your own lobby and then you get a code and then you share and everybody in the lobby goes multiplayer, and then there's this join private game or something. It's going to get a little screen so you can type at least maybe they change it, but that's how you type the code and then you join in.
All right.
Pretty easy, pretty smooth. There's really, I don't think there's ever issues like that. Any issues? The issues that we've had is update. It's a little bit janky and shit, but I think overall it's pretty smooth in that sense.
So one of the other things is that like every single item in the game is going to be tiered now, so they're going to be adding 40 new items in the game because of that. So like your flashlight now has like 3 different types of flashlights, and every single item. So it's going to be a lot to learn, even for like experienced players.
Well, even for experienced players, because I think what they're doing is obviously now that they're putting more time and they have more people and money to do more with the game, they're doing more like animations or more different things. So they're adding these different tiers for these equipment, right? And I think the equipment, depending on the tier, the ghost does something different or a different type of thing appear on the camera, right? So I think that's what's gonna make it even more And I'm really wondering what's going to be the balance on cost and earning, because there's some games that's like, fuck, you really have to grind to just get a stupid smudge stick, you know? In this game, it wasn't that bad. And they're actually pretty generous at giving you. But now with the new update, I wonder if they're going to tweak anything when it comes down to how much money you're making, and how much money it costs to buy the equipment, especially all these tiers, right? And then how long until you can unlock these tiers, you know? I'm assuming, is it going to be after you reach, let's say, level 10, you unlock tier 2 of everything, or you have to, which I would prefer, you have to use like Firewall. Each gun that you use, that's the gun that you upgrade and you start, you know, getting all the updates, I mean, all the different tiers. So I'm hoping that that's how it is. I use the video camera and I get, evidence from it, so that somehow the game knows that. And then, okay, you're doing good with the camera. You need to get this much, just like in Firewall, until you can unlock the next tier and stuff like that. I think that will be pretty cool if they do that.
Deladen says he... Sorry, Mos, go ahead.
Rather than just like a flat, like everything that you have currently equipped gets upgraded as you like do good. Rather it just be like individual items.
I will prefer individual items because that way it will be more of a grind, right? Because let's say, and yeah, I don't think it has to be everything. Like maybe 110. Okay, now there's this new type of equipment that you unlock, because now you don't get everything at the beginning. At the beginning, you get like shitty flashlights. There's this big flashlights and then there's small ones. The big flashlights suck. The small ones are a lot better. So I do think that they might do that after you reach certain level, get different equipment. But I would prefer, yes, like you don't, if you never use personally or maybe as a team, the video camera, but probably personally, it doesn't really go up and you don't get tier 2. Now, if I unlock tier 2, I'll buy it and anybody on bus can use it. That would be also, I think, cool. But I would prefer that to be able to grind and be something to work for and come back to, you know, the game.
I get you. I think you should watch, like that Donnie says in the chat, if you watch that video, it's like 30 minutes long. Well, you can just read the notes yourself, but he goes over it in detail. And I think he does mention something about how, like, I think he explained how tiers work, where you, like, it costs a lot of money to go up a tier. But then once you do go up that tier, when you need to buy that object again, it's at the original price of the first thing, or like tier 1, we'll say. So it's like an unlock. You pay the charge for the unlock. I think that's what he said, if I'm remembering right. I could be wrong. Like you pay a good bit of money to unlock that certain thing. Like let's say tier 2 flashlights. And then the next time you want to use it, let's say you lose us and you want to buy it again, you just pay the price of the original instead of having to pay the unlock price again, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think.
Deadeye saying that he watched a YouTube of a girl playing wearing the haptic vest and she could feel the ghost touch her.
Damn.
I want that.
Where
do they have
haptics
underwear?
on the nips? Haptics on the nips.
Where did the ghost touch her, Dan?
You know, you can sort of do that with what was that game? The Persistence, was it? No. Was it the Persistence? The VR game that you were like in the spaceship and there was things that the Persistence, right?
It was like a roguelike. You died and you did go over again and then
right, but you play with the Dual Sense or whatever, Dual Shock, right? Yeah. But if you had your move controllers on, it will vibrate when, you know, and it will do more. Yeah, the move controls will vibrate when something will happen, like a ghost scare, you'll get killed. Okay. So if you put it somewhere, wherever you want to.
Where did you put it? Where did you put it?
In my pants. Yeah, in my pants. And they honestly sound stupid, but it did add a little bit of emotion. Mm-hmm. So that's just a tip if you have a.
So you actually did it. So you actually tried it.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you the story, bitch. Okay. You think I'm just making it up? I tried it.
I just wouldn't
try
people
this years ago. I haven't talked about it in like 5 years. Well, we don't need it anymore. We have the controllers. You know? It works.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Donnie says the cost from there to there were the same costs. I think he means tier to tier. I can't remember. Say item 1 is $500 on tier 1. It's the same on every tier. Struggling to keep up, Donnie. I'm sorry. Durban Brown says, next week. Yo, how you doing, Durban Brown? So anything else to say?
Satanist?
He could be. He's got the upside down pentagram thing.
Damn, Decepticon would be best friends with him.
Yeah, that reminds me. Decepticon said, why is he such a bitch? It'll be fine by the time we play, but I'm sure it'll crash when it drops. It just made me laugh.
I'm being a bitch. He's the one being negative. But anyways,
Look, you got that flag behind you. You've agitated him. All right, he's all aggressive. He's all aggressive. Durban Brown's doing good. He's ready for Ultra. That's what I'd like to hear, Durban Brown. Everyone's getting hyped for that Ultra. Maybe he's on the bottom half of the planet. What?
What?
All right, are we done with Phasmophobia? Do you think we'll have a release date this time next week? By the next Touching Tips, will we know the release date?
Next time next week is going to be... Fuck.
It's going to be the day before Firewall.
I hope so, but what if they just drop it like the, hey, Phasmo's out tomorrow.
On the 24th, they drop it on the 24th.
That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do.
I think that we might know. I'm not 100% sure because you never know how they're doing with Firewall. They don't really talk because they don't let them. So I don't know. I don't know what Sony.
We've known the release date for Firewall for a few months now. 2
right,
months, maybe.
But we don't. But we don't. They don't let them. Well, all we've seen is that. I mean, a little bit, but mainly all we see is that stabbing thing over and over. That's the only thing they allow to see. So
I get
maybe
you.
for Phasmo, we don't know how much there are them to say. They might just be like, you can't say shit. All you do is drop it a day before. You got 24 hours before.
What's the benefit of that? Look at the tennis game. We got the tennis game coming October 10th or 20th, whatever that was. And we know that.
How the fuck am I supposed to know how Lizard's brain works?
Listen, about Phasmophobia?
Why can't we know about Firewall? We know Firewall is good. We know Firewall is great.
Yeah, I'm just talking about release dates now.
Okay, but you being picky. What I'm saying is, in general, why are things like that? Because we know Firewall. People that know about Firewall, they get sketched out. Like, why are we not seeing anything?
This could be a topic. This could be a topic every single week. Why is Sony like this?
It will be a
Why
topic.
is
We hate Sony.
Why Sony? Why?
Every time, fuckers.
But anyways,
I don't know. Is it just? Oh no, I'm not going to get into it. Next thing I will get into it though is my tweet. Because my tweets make the news. That's how powerful my tweets are. Where did I leave us? Here it is.
Oh, you all ready for this, guys?
You ready? This is going to be crazy. It's going to knock your socks off. So basically, I put up a tweet saying, I can't even see it, so I'm going to have to paraphrase. Basically, that I think PSVR 2's library, by the end of this month, will have a higher quality than the entirety of the PSVR 1's library for the whole 6 years that it was out. I got like 200 and something likes. I got loads of comments. Some of them calling me a clown. Some of them calling me idiots. Other people are like, "Yeah, you're right." And I'm just interested in hearing what's your thoughts on that and people in the chat.
They're all right. You're an idiot. You're also right. But I agree. Well, I guess I don't know if you want to go first, but I agree.
I would say quality games. Yes, I think you're right.
Damn, these boys know what to
say. I think we're already there. I think we're even already there. We don't need August is gonna solidify.
We need that firewall. We need that firewall to beat 0 hour.
I know, but what about? Let's be honest. PSVR 1. There was a lot in at you because I was like,
Jackpot, hold on. Maz, I don't know if you're hearing this as well, but Jackpot, your microphone's kind of cutting out a good bit.
I've been hearing that. I thought it was just me, but yeah.
My microphone's cutting?
It's like at the every sentence or so, you kind of cut out for a couple of seconds and then you're back again.
Maybe it's the internet.
GT is here. How you doing, GT? It doesn't seem like an internet issue, but go on, try. Let's go again if you can.
I forgot what was.
You lost his train of thought.
PSVR 1 library. You want to say something about PSVR 1 library?
Yeah, I said the PSVR library to a point. It was a lot of garbage. It was a lot of garbage, and I always told you about this compared to the Quest library. Yeah, there was some garbage stuff, but with the Quest, there was a lot of good rated games.
He's cutting out a little bit again. Well, no, I'm getting the gist of it. I think I understand what you're saying. But I don't agree with your compared to the Quest. I mean, ridiculous. Resident Evil 7 compared to anything on Quest. What beats that on Quest? Nothing. Hitman trilogy. Nothing beats that on Quest. Sorry. Sorry. Fucking. What else was on PSVR 1? Obviously, Firewall 0 hour. Superior. With the aim controller as well. Skyrim. A big hundreds and hundreds of hours in that game. Yeah, I know it's an old game from 2011, but still.
They were ahead. They were ahead with the platformers. They had the Astrobot and Moss.
Yes,
which
Astro
we
Bot,
have.
of course.
We
Blood and
still have
Truth. Blood and Truth.
Blood and
Governor,
Truth, yeah.
Wipeout. Although I argued that, Gran Turismo 7 VR is way, way, way superior than any racer on PSVR 1, including Wipeout and stuff like that. I know they're completely different genres, but, in terms of having the racing genre covered, I think the PSVR 2 smokes it. Absolutely.
Well, how about PC? How does it compare to PC?
Well, that's
racers?
that's a whole different thing altogether. I'm not going to argue that PSVR 2 has a better library than PC, but I will say it
No,
has
no,
a
no,
better-
no, no, no. Like the race, like Gran Turismo compared to racers in PCVR. I think it's
What do you
They,
have?
better.
it's pretty big on PC. I have a buddy of mine who plays the PC.
Dude,
and he's-
Gran Turismo is
that-
fucking awesome.
Well,
Especially if
they
you have a
have-
wheel. Fuck.
They also have like the F1 racing, like in the real like big races like that, which that's
Yeah, but like
that's what he's in.
Assetto Corsa and all this shit. In
Yeah,
VR.
Assetto Corsa and all those kind of.
I don't know if they're official like VR mods or if there are mods that they added in, but do you count mods when you're talking about that? I don't know.
No, I don't. I closed something on my computer. Let me know if that shit is still happening. Just FYI.
Well, so
Big
far,
shit so
so
far.
far you're good. Gamertag says when is Phasmophobia coming to PSVR 2? Have they dropped a date? They're not saying nothing. But like you're blaming Sony for this, but look how late they left it to announce the update date. Like we just found out today or yesterday, I can't remember what days, that it's coming Thursday. Like it took them so long to narrow that down.
But we knew it was coming around that time.
Well, they said the week
we
of
have
the 14th,
no idea.
but they said the end of August for PSVR 2, so we know around the time, the end of
Well,
August.
then it's coming out
to
the
me,
same
that
day
means
as
last
Firewall,
week.
that's it.
Last week of August.
Same day as Firewall. That's it.
That's
Don't
probably
worry
what
about
it is. That's probably what's going to be. Gamertag.
That's it.
Germ says Farpoint as well. Absolutely. How could I forget that?
Farpoint was great.
Firepoint was good,
Tight.
just because of the aim controller. Yeah, that was a good game.
GT says he just played Wipeout a couple days ago. It still holds up. Yeah, I mean, I still have that game. I would love to play it if they want to update it for PSVR 2 any day now. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Blood and Truth was pretty fun. Scary as shit. That was a good game.
You mean Rush of Blood?
Roller coaster one.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
Rush of
ghosts.
Blood. Yeah, Blood and Truth was that
Rush of
London,
Blood,
London
whatever.
gangster one.
Blood and Truth was also good.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, I helped myself right there. That was another good game.
two good games. Yeah, I forgot about Rush of Blood too. And Switchback doesn't. Well, I haven't even gotten Switchback because of the feedback. Like the people saying us, who they've played us, are kind of like, "Oh, Rush of Blood was better," even with the new
Well, it had-
update.
Even with the
Yeah.
update,
Even
well,
like obviously the visuals
well,
are probably better now
Yeah.
than Rush of Blood, but like people, I think even GT maybe it was. I can't remember who it was who was saying it, but basically, and they've really dragged out the levels. They stretched them out, and the roller coaster part is like you're just slowly moving forward on a track. Whereas in Rush of Blood, you were constantly going up and down and weaving and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So they kind of dropped the ball on the roller coaster aspect in Switchback. Was that you said that, GT? Someone said it anyway.
I have it. I started playing it a while ago before the update. I only played the first level, and then when I heard there was an update coming out, I stopped playing it. So maybe tomorrow I'll play some of that.
Do
See how.
give us something to talk about next week.
Yeah, I want to see how it looks.
Germ says Wipeout was probably my most played behind Firewall and Farpoint, and I have no idea what fourth would be. Firewall and Farpoint.
Wipeout was too much for me. It got me
I
very
really like
sick.
the Moss
Yeah.
games. Those Moss 1 and 2 are up there for me. Those are good games.
All right. For me, it's got to be Resident Evil 7. And other horror ones.
Oh,
All
yeah.
about the horror.
I need to finish that game. I was like an hour of it.
I still cannot understand how you did not finish Resident Evil 7 yet, but
I only played like an hour of it because I'm waiting. Well, now I have it. Actually, just bought it like last week. The PCVR version with
Motion
with
controls.
the move, with the mod, with the motion controls. I already had it running, but it looked shit. So, but my smooth brain, so I gotta figure it out how to. But
Cutting
dude,
it
I'm
in.
excited for that game.
I can hear you. I understand what you're saying, but it's just like a little bit of cutting coming back.
Yeah.
we just lose
I don't know
one
what's
word.
going on.
Yeah,
One-
it's basically
one-
the first word of every sentence. Well,
I
not
say I
every
hate you, and I'll play Resident Evil 7 soon.
If you bitched out on Resident Evil 7 because you thought it was too scary, though, like just to let you know that first hour is the scariest part, and then it gets more actiony, kind of. It's not as scary then after that.
Right.
Once you start getting the guns.
Well, it was at the beginning when I was new to VR, so everything was pretty terrifying. But now I feel like a little bit better. A little bit
Well,
better.
you're a Phasmophobia pro now, so you shouldn't be that scared
No,
anymore.
but Phasmophobia because there's 4 of us idiots fucking around. But send me by myself, I'll poop my
Yeah.
pants. Like
In-
It's gonna be
anybody,
fun.
almost
It's
well,
gonna be fun.
not anybody. There's some people. Tasuki doesn't give a fuck. He just goes in there and just starts talking.
Doesn't feel
The fuck.
emotions.
It doesn't feel more than it doesn't. But yeah, no, it's scary, dude.
What was I gonna say?
In 7, it's just you. It's just you and Jack all alone together. That's great.
You know what fucking Phasmophobia does as well? That the Paranormal Activity movies did as well. You know, they play that audio. As soon as you go inside the house, you hear that kind of, it's hard to describe it, but it's like a low humming buzz sound, and it's like it's been like scientifically proven to cause dread in people or something when they hear it. But
Damn.
I'd notice that every time you're streaming it. Like once you go inside the house, it plays that noise. You can hear the rumble kind of.
Right. Talking about that, yeah, you're right. Talking about that, the Paranormal Activity game for PSVR 1 was pretty good.
That was good. I like that one, yeah.
That was a good game. Yeah.
Tasuki says, easy to be brave when you have others around. Alone, I'm scared to death. Lol. Maybe I'll do that for Halloween. Play Phasmophobia solo in the scariest map, whatever it is.
You should do Phasmophobia the first stream, like the hour by yourself.
Damn. That might be too scary.
Well, but that's the point, because if you
Too scary.
start playing the game with all of us,
Yeah.
try to do it by yourself, it is gonna still be scary. But I think if you start and do it yourself for like a good, maybe hour, a couple of them at least, and you'll get,
Yeah, maybe.
lose some weight.
It was a good... Shit myself.
Just drop pounds of.
Decepticon says air noise. That's exactly what it is. But that's what, if you listen to the Paranormal Activity movies as well, they play that sound when it gets to nighttime or whatever. Tsuki says Madison VR may be out by Halloween. They're only going to, I think they're showing off gameplay on the 22nd. Is that actually part of my notes somewhere? I think it is. But they got like a gameplay reveal of Madison VR coming out on the 22nd, which is not far away. Bunch of bitches says LSB. But yeah, I think that's all for my controversial tweets. It seems it's not controversial at all. I was expecting you to disagree with me. I thought more people in the chat would be like, no, you're an idiot.
Well, you are an idiot, but you're right on this, I think.
I had David Heaney from Upload Viewer being like, no, I disagree. It had Skyrim.
Really? What did he say?
He was like, it had Skyrim, it had Borderlands 2, it had, X, Y, and Z, but basically it was like it needs a Skyrim tier game. Like a game on that level.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it more and more, maybe they're maybe you are an idiot. Maybe they are right. Because there's a quote. Well, now I keep thinking about more games like Paranormal and all this.
But
There was quite a bit of good games.
But when you think of all those good games, you're thinking of single player games. Whereas on PSVR 2, there's a nice mix. We've got the Pavlov, we got mini golf, we got Gran Turismo 7. All of them with multiplayer modes, and we're about to.
I think
have
we got
Firewall.
more solid games. Like out of before PSVR 1 was a bunch shit and some good games. I feel like now we're getting more solid games overall.
What was the first proper multiplayer game on PSVR 1 that you put a lot of hours into?
Multiplayer?
Yeah.
Firewall.
And that came out
Firewall.
2 years later. That came out in 2018. 2 years
Well,
after
I didn't buy PSVR 1 when it came out.
Okay.
I bought it I don't know, maybe a year when the Skyrim bundle came out.
I think that was 2017.
I don't fucking know, but it wasn't right away, and that's the reason why I had Xbox before and I switched it just so I can play VR. 'Cause PCs were even more expensive, I think, back in. I don't even.
And Muzz, what do you have? What would your first multiplayer game be on PSVR 1 that you can think of?
Firewall, I think. I don't think I played too much.
What about I think Werewolves Within maybe the only other one I can think of that was earlier than Firewall, where I put a good few hours into it.
I hardly even played that one. I joined you for a few streams, by the way. I wasn't really big into that one.
Okay.
Do you know how many hours you got on Firewall? I checked the other day. I don't have that many, but I have I think 1,400 hours in Firewall 0 hours.
No, I don't
I
think I've
can't
checked
check
my total.
anymore.
You can check?
Well, you have to start up the game for it to say at the bottom of the screen, don't you? Or do you?
No, when you click the game, at least on the PS5, it opens the page of the game, and on the bottom
right?
it says in the bottom middle right, it says, for me at least, how many hours for each game.
You got 1,400 hours in it?
I think I have 1,400 hours. I checked like 2 days ago.
Damn,
I'm sure you have similar or more.
I don't know.
have to go check.
I was thinking more like maybe
gonna go check.
800, 900 hours. Yeah, go go check Muzz. He has to find out. He's got to uncoil himself. Good chance to
I
catch
think that's
up
the
with
game that I
chat.
play the most.
Oh, big
ever.
time, 100%. Gaiden
Fucking
Prime, how
good.
you doing? Says, got you, bruh. I'm one of the original Ghostbusters, but I got screwed. I don't know what you mean by
What?
this. I don't know what you mean by that.
He's talking about Ghostbusters. Is that game even coming or what?
Shit, yeah, it
Even
is.
though it looks kind of
But
silly,
now,
but
listen,
it's
now the
still fun.
Phasmophobia is coming out. I'm not even looking at it.
But it's different.
I
It's
know
different.
I
And
know it's
this
more
might be
family
more
friendly
silly.
and colorful and bright or whatever. But still,
Right. Right. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, where is that game? I'm not saying I'm running
it's
to buy it.
coming.
I'm just
It's
saying,
coming.
where is it?
it's coming. We probably see that isn't the Magic Connect event happening in September?
I think so. I think
Probably see
so.
it there. Tsuki says we only play 2. That make that one multiplayer game, though, until later this month. Yeah, we only play one, but if it wasn't for my streaming situation, I'd play a lot more Gran Turismo 7 and I'd play a lot more Poker Stars
Yeah.
as well.
Gran Turismo. I wish we could play Gran Turismo. I think that'll be fun to play and to stream too.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that can fit on the lobbies. It
Indeed.
just sucks that the whole audio doesn't work.
If they just put in voice chat in the game,
Mm-hmm.
that's all they have to do. Muzz, what's the result?
1,139.
Nice.
Damn, 1,139.
Don't you have your PlayStation next to you,
I
Pumpkins?
do, but I
Check.
think I've deleted 0 or
You
because-
deleted?
Yeah.
You deleted
this.
Firewall?
Of course I have.
Oh my
My
god!
PSVR 1 is in the attic.
Why would you
It's
say
in
that
the
out
attic.
loud?
I'm not playing. I'm not plugging
Make
that thing
me-
in again.
Making me
I'm
choke.
not, I'm not plugging
don't-
it in again.
my-
I'm not doing it.
I deleted it
My
too.
VR.
I can't play it.
Oh my god! What are you guys?
Wait, how did you
doing?
check your hours?
Well, it's I still have it
Live.
in my I still have it in my library.
can
of
see it in the
games that I
library?
own.
Okay, I'll just check it then.
It's still
Yeah,
the
I
only
can't believe
game.
you guys
Keeps the
deleted it.
conversation going. Of course
It's
I
still the
deleted
only
it.
game the only game I still have a VR platinum for. It's the only one.
Do you know how precious?
Damn, you got a
space
plan? I
is?
don't have a plan for nothing.
Just Firewall. That's the only one that I got.
I only finish about 3% of my games, Muzz. I have an issue. I have a catalog of games that I buy and I don't play.
I never go for trophies. The only one that I had to is Firewall. I felt
Fuck, I don't e-
obligated. I felt
I don't even
obligated
get
to-
halfway in. Well, Firewall was, there's a lot to, well, I guess people say that for any game, but for me at least, like you said, Firewall, there was a lot to work that it was, because we were obsessed with that game. But yeah, that was, fuck, I don't even know how you got that plan.
It's
My second platinum is gonna be Firewall Ultra.
It's telling me I got 607 hours in, which can't be right because there's no way you've got like 1,000
That makes
more
sense.
hours.
That makes sense. That's why you
Doesn't
suck
make any sense.
more than me. Yeah, that
It
makes a
can't be
lot
right.
of sense.
It cannot be right.
Because
Simply
you only
can't.
played when you were streaming. That's why.
Maybe. Yeah, you were cheating, practicing off stream, which was, cheating, basically.
No practicing, because I had no babies. I can play more.
My
You
addiction.
gotta
my
breastfeed your
addiction was too
kids. You got
strong
like 5
to
of
play
them.
with you on your stream.
Okay. That's a bit of a tangent there anyway, but that's interesting. Trying to catch up on some comments.
What were we talking about?
Killing
I don't know
Forces
where we
LSB. We're just kind of talking about like good PSVR 1 games.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
your tweet. You're back to your tweet.
Tasuki says Rec Room, Werewolves Within, Firewall earlier on, maybe some Fairpoint multiplayer. Yeah, when they added that update, I put a good
Oh,
few
yeah, Rec
hours
Room.
into Fairpoint. It was just 1v1 though. It was
Rec
kind of
Room.
Yeah.
hard to keep playing. Mine was Riggs, says Chopped. I never put too many hours into that one. Gamertag says
Oh, I also played a lot of the one that
Zenith.
it got canceled. No, the Star something.
Oh, Starblood Arena.
Star Arena. Yeah, I played
Mm.
that quite a bit. I like that one a lot.
I played a bit of it and I kind of didn't enjoy it too much. And that was part of the reason it died. So I just stopped playing it.
And I also like the E Valkyrie. That was a really good game. I played a lot of that too.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
GT says, I love Mr. Jackpot's background. He could talk games or aliens or politics or guns. Could be
Aliens,
talking
yes.
about
Politics, no. Guns, I'm not.
Firewall
that
guns.
familiar.
Firewall guns.
Firewall guns, yes. It'll give me a month and I'll know the names.
Tailor
Firewall
CQBs.
guns. All the little knickknacks about the guns.
Germ says
Is that a word you use over there
Yeah, we say
in
nicknames.
Ireland?
Yes, it is. Fairpoint had good co-op, and even the 1v1 was decent, says Germ. He's right.
Yeah.
Fairpoint was great story, good story mode. That was your first multiplayer, says Germ. Guiding Prime says, in case, I lost the comment, in case you get scared in Phasmophobia, oh damn, you're on the Ghostbuster team, I see. How long has PSVR 2 been out now? It's just gone 6 months, isn't it? Are we in the 7th month now? Came out in February. We're in August.
Yep.
That's roughly 6 months. I didn't do maths. You know?
Never.
I don't come into your stream and make you do maths, Deej. Show me the same common courtesy, alright? How you doing, Deej, by the way? Movemaster Mick is here. He says, Green Hell VR rocks, boys. That's going to be coming up next. That's the next topic. That'll be a
rocks?
good segue.
Different opinions. Some people say it sucks. Some people say it's good.
All right,
GT still here? Yeah, GT's still here.
GT, I
bring
think
up
he said
Green
it
Hell.
sucks. I watched his video.
He didn't
I
like
watched
it.
too. Yeah, he ripped into. You said it was the worst PSVR 2 game you played so far. But then there's people today on the Reddit. They're like, hold on a sec. You're being a bit dramatic. Not you specifically, but like people who are shitting on us are being a bit dramatic. It's not. It doesn't look amazing or anything, but according to them, it's functional. It's decent. They're having a bit of fun.
Well, and there
with
was
it.
other points he mentioned, at least GT, and like I think he mentioned something about the plan. Why can't you just pick up a freaking plan? You gotta like build this little thing and it breaks all the time and stuff like that. That it's not just the graphics that I think is like, at least to me, it made sense.
There's a lot
But I had to
of
play it, I guess.
there's a lot of complaining as well, and I would join that. Is it wasn't the PC viewer version, it was the Quest version, and they kind of upped the graphics a bit.
For me, it was
Why?
just it didn't have the multiplayer. If it had the multiplayer, I probably would have bought it. I had my finger on the button, and I held off, and then as soon as I watched GT's take on it, then I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold off until multiplayer for sure, at least.
Right.
I emailed
How
them
much is
for-
it?
It's 24. Is it? I can't remember.
It's $29.99 in United States.
All right, then I'm getting mixed up with the sterling price then. Yeah, I emailed them for a review code. They haven't replied, so I don't think I want to spend money on it
No.
personally. Unless the
Maybe
co-op
when
comes out,
it
it's really
drops in, when the co-op comes and they go on a sale, right? Like fat
good.
sale,
Yeah.
50% off for like $15 or something.
Yeah.
Damn, I sound fucked up. They're probably crying right now. I'm like, oh, the motherfuckers talking shit about a game.
GT says, F Green Hell, man, didn't enjoy it. It's the only game where eye tracking made a game worse. Yes, I forgot about that point. It was like messing up with your menus and shit, like the eye tracking.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
Fumbled. They fumbled the bag. Tasuki says it's 25. Oh, so
Okay.
if you got PS Plus, it's 25. That's where the 25 was coming from. Decepticon says, should have put the Forest VR on PS5. They should. Well, they might. Who knows?
Son of the Forest or whatever. I think this is the second one. I think that one. Because the Forest, I mean, unless for me, the Forest shit in VR. Like really bad. And it's fine, but and you know me, I don't care about the graphics. It's pretty bad.
You're cutting out a good bit there. Although Donnie said he doesn't hear you cutting out at all, so maybe it's just me and Muzz who are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds
you're
Maybe
good.
you
cutting
guys.
out.
I'm glad as long as they can hear me. I don't care
Alright,
about you
that's
two.
fine. That's fine. Personally, I think Sony have dropped the ball, says Deej. Deej isn't happy. PSVR versus PSVR 2 first 6 months after launch video. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. PSVR 2 would shit all over it. I'm sorry. It just would. Day one. It would already shit over it on day one. Spoilers for that video if it ever happens. But yeah, Green Hell. No co-op. Complaints on Reddit about a blurry mess. And you added you're disappointed. Well, one of you did.
And it's not big open world because it's the Quest version. It's like segmented into
Yeah,
like
it's a
areas.
smaller map.
So, and you have like loading screens when you like transition, just like would break the immersion like crazy. So
Disgusting.
Right. Why do you think they did that? Do you think it's because it was too much work to try to port the PC version and it was cheaper to do the Quest, or why the fuck would they do that? That doesn't make sense to me.
You'd
I was
imagine.
really excited to play this game. It's quite a
Yeah.
You'd
honor
imagine
that
the.
they-
Sorry, I thought you were finished. Must keep going, please.
No, go ahead. I was just
No,
saying
no.
it's a bummer that they just dropped it like this, like in not a good state. Like letdown.
Like you would imagine the PC version would be doable on the PS5. You'd imagine the PS5 would be strong enough to do this, especially with foveated rendering and eye tracking if
It
they use
is.
that. So
Yeah,
the
it
only
is.
reason I can think of is that it's easier to optimize the Quest version than it would be the PC version, and just easier, less expensive, maybe. Not I don't
Right,
want to,
but
I don't
what
want
are
to
like?
speak
Where's
ill of
that
developers.
meeting? No, no, no. The developers are fine. It's probably the people that do the numbers. What's that meeting that is like, hey guys, it's gonna cost this much money and then this much money to the other version. But if we do the Quest version, how much is gonna affect that? Is it gonna
Well,
sell?
maybe it's just
Probably not as much. I don't know.
a matter of we can develop the Quest version much quicker than we can do the PC version, and time is money. So some big wig in a suit is like, fine, do that.
Right. The suit people is probably what I think overall. But who knows, man? They have the billions. They're the brain, and we just can't comprehend their mastermind plans.
Maybe it's going to be the
I
top
don't
seller
think
next
so.
month when we get the top charts for
Nah,
August.
nah,
It might be
nah, nah,
Firewall for all we know. You know,
Nah.
who knows? Who knows?
Not with the feedback it's getting, that's for sure. Well, very mixed feedback anyway.
But it's early. I think they're gonna update it, and once it drops the price and they release the multiplayer, I think that's when they're gonna start getting
And
more
DLC.
copies being sold.
They have
Yeah.
DLC planned and stuff too, so.
Decepticon says it is cutting out. Even his mic knows he's a bitch. Damn, get roasted.
Well,
Yeah, the two things that disappointed me the most was the no co-op from the get-go and the segmented map areas. Those were the two big downers for me. I can get it. I can handle the jank if the game is still fun, but I just don't like. I don't like the idea of like going to another part of the map and it like turns like it like goes black for a bit and then fades back in and then you're like in another area. It needs to be one big jungle.
GT says Forest VR is a great game with someone else. Maybe that could be the same for Green Hell, but everything in the mix. For Green Hell, but everything in the mix I experienced so far put me in a place of now is not the time to play this. Too many good games coming. So yeah, maybe multiplayer turns it around. Or co-op. Like when the co-op does come, is it 2-player? Is that all it is?
I thought it was supposed to
I
be
think it's
4-player.
4.
4. Okay.
It is 4.
Okay. That's a lot better.
Exactly. You can have a lot of fun in a technically bad game with 4 players co-op.
Well, there, Move Master Make has just proved the point of like, the other side of the argument. He says it doesn't look like Red Matter 2, it's not that good, but it's functional and it plays silky smooth and he's enjoying the story mode.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a few different
But it's the same.
opinions.
It's the same argument that they made against Rush of Blood, or not Rush of Blood. Rush of Blood 2. I guess,
Switchback.
Yeah. Switchback.
Yeah.
For the graphics anyway, like how it was like old graphics instead of being like new PlayStation VR 2 quality graphics. It's not like the game wasn't playable, it just wasn't looking to people's expectations for PSVR 2, and you could say the same thing about this game. So
Marcelo Rodriguez. How you doing, Marcelo? Says, I'm looking forward to playing Phasmophobia, though any experience on that co-op is a plus. Well, this fellow over here at the very end, that side, has lots of experience in the Phasmophobia co-op. And
Not lots, just a little bit.
Well, he
Pete,
played a good few
Pete the
hours.
reptilian. And you know what? I think Pete loves that game and he plays so much. He says it's because he loves that game because whatever reasons, but it's because all the, I don't know if you probably remember on the stream, all the fly traps.
Oh, I've
the-
seen
some
that.
of
Yeah,
the-
I saw you looking up and saying
some
Pete would
of the
love that.
maps.
Yeah.
That's the map that he always selects, and he just fantasizes about licking the strips hanging from the thing with the
Wouldn't
flies.
taste nice. Wouldn't taste nice.
But anyways, P is the master expert of Phasmophobia. He knows everything. And again, I play B, which is a little cheater. We never experienced a lot of the stuff from the game because he just bought everything. It didn't know the game sometimes gives you equipment, and so yeah, I do have a little bit of experience, but nothing, not enough to,
Yeah, you really, ruined,
talk
you
about
really
it in
ruined
the
it for
same game.
yourselves. That's what PC gaming does, they ruin things.
Let's be you ruined it because that's how he is. He likes to cheat. He likes to watch walkthroughs, all that kinds of stuff. And I don't like to cheat. I don't like spoilers.
Dice just hating because the MILF addiction cost him his spas on touching tips. He walked. The door was open for Decepticon, but he walked away. And he should probably have a PSVR 2 if he's going to be on a PSVR 2 podcast as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I'm still open to the idea of doing a fundraiser for Decepticon. Get him the PS5 and PSVR 2 before Firewall comes out.
He'll blow the money on MILFs. That's what he'll do.
That's what exactly. That's the worry. There's no guarantee. Gaiden Prime says, "Is the VR2 hooked up to a PS5 or a Dreamcast?" You wonder these things when you see stuff like Green Hell happening.
Damn.
It should be running
Dreamcast.
Marcelo,
Dreamcast was the shit.
Imagine Rockstar releasing a VR version of GTA 6, and I'm good. Thanks for asking. And GTA 5, I'd be happy with that. Obviously, when GTA 6 comes out, then I'll be like, damn, I really want GTA 6 VR. But Red Dead Redemption, GTA, either of those come to PSVR 2, and then it's just that alone clears anything on PSVR 1. It just does. Cyborg says, "Can you repeat the last hour, please? Thanks." So you can scroll back to the beginning. There is a tracking feature, but you won't be able to watch us live, sadly. Pete licking fly traps, says Donnie, laughing. Thanks for elaborating. No worries. Thanks for the comment. Rough graphics I can deal with, says GT. That was the icing. Once I made my mind up for everything else. Song in the Smoke does a great job on survival VR. Yes, a lot of people saying just go for Song in the Smoke instead.
Does that have multiplayer?
No, but if you're just playing single player, I would just go Song in the Smoke. It is good.
Right.
I know you're joking, Cyborg. I just I wanted to be a little smartass, Tsuki says, "When we get in the Dead Battery podcast, that's one I will not watch. I'll block it from my feed. Not subscribing to that." Tsuki says, "Green Hell looks like a PS2 graphics game, not terrible or anything, but still PS2. I would say PS2 is fairly terrible in 2023 if you're releasing the game in 2023. Germ says, "I've got $50 on the GoFundMe." There you go. Who can match us? Rockstar seems averse to VR, says Crumb. How you doing, Crumb? And thanks for being a member, by the way. And don't forget that they did LA Noire case files and that they're working on GTA San Andreas right now, allegedly, for the Quest. Although nobody's heard anything about that in 3 years.
Quest 3.
And announced for Quest 2. Though.
Right.
Yeah. We'll combine with the overeating podcast. Shut your mouth. Anyway, we move on to the next topic.
What's the next topic?
Next topic is the 7th guest. Just because I saw a tweet they put out today saying, I quoted here, "And so the countdown commences, only 6 days until we unveil our secrets." I don't really know anything about 7th guest, but I've seen people commenting like, "Oh, this was a really cool game back in the, the 90s on PC." And I even saw one fella saying, "Oh, I have to buy a PSVR 2 now because of this," which I didn't think, like, it doesn't look like mind blowing to me or anything, but people who like it's a popular IP
Nostalgia.
on PC, nostalgia.
I totally missed this one growing up too, because I was playing games like crazy back when this game came out. Was this only PC? Was this a big PC game?
I have a feeling it's just PC, and now it's coming to...
That would explain it,
Yeah.
because I was not a PC gamer. I was just a console kid, so this one went right over my head when it's like, all right, I guess it's big to somebody, but I don't know what the hell it is.
It seems to be like a puzzle type of, like whodunit maybe, like somebody killed somebody, you gotta look at the echoes of ghosts or whatever and figure out what happened. I think that's what's going on. A big haunted house.
Looks cool.
Looks nice and atmospheric. But yeah, basically they're teasing something for 6 days. I don't know what it is.
Something that could also give you a good story as well. Like you have like these scary games, but there's not really much story there. But this could have both, which would be pretty cool.
Did either of you play Wraith Oblivion on PSVR 1?
No.
Fuck, it sounds very familiar.
It was...
yes.
it was
Well, you're like in some fucking castle, and
like
you
a
have like...
Hollywood mansion type. Yeah, LA, yeah. Did you say LA?
No. What's the name again?
Wraith shit, what is Wraith Afterlife, The Oblivion, or some shit like that. I can't remember the full title. It was a fast travel game. Title.
Right,
It was part of that
Afterlife.
franchise. What's that fucking franchise?
Oh, right. I see
Vampire
that.
Masquerade is part of it too. It's like the
For
world
the
of something.
questicles.
I can't remember. What
Yeah,
it
I
is.
see it. No, I didn't play this.
No, you didn't play it. Okay. I was just thinking, I was like, it seems to be something in line with that, although maybe less horror than that was.
But it looks, I mean, the graphics and everything, it looks fine, right?
Decepticon
Looks like it
said
can be scary, it can be
he
fun.
had this on CDI, whatever the fuck that is. I assume it's a PC thing. Decepticon, was this the shit? Was this the hot shit back in the 80s when you were a wee lad?
He was not a wee lad in the 80s. He was a grown man.
He was a grown man.
Yeah, he's very, very old right now.
50, I hear. 56 or something. Oh, he said seventh guest was banging in the 90s. It was a banging in the 90s. Puzzle game, says Crumb. Donnie, oh no, so not Donnie. Tasuki says, what we need is Sony to come out and say, hey, these are the next big line of big Sony made PSVR 2 releases coming in the future. Like God of War, Uncharted, etc. Twisted Metal. I agree. But they're not going to do it. Maybe the next showcase. Gamertag also missed this one. But yeah. So this, if the countdown is correct, the 22nd is when the 6 days are up, which is the same day that Madison VR is supposed to have the gameplay reveal. So there could be 2 horror reveals for PSVR 2 on the same day. You know, when it rains,
Which is good.
It pours. Lots of horror. You can't say if there's one category or genre that PSVR 2 is lacking, it's not going to be horror.
Well, what do you think? The secret is just the release date, or what? Only 6 days until we unveil our secret. What would the secret?
I don't know. I mean, like, I'd imagine release days, but maybe they show like extended gameplay or a demo or something. Maybe release a demo on the PlayStation stores, and that'd be cool too.
That would be cool.
How much, how many games, scary games, would it take for us to feel the same way as we did the PSVR 1 with the freaking rail shooters or those type of games? I feel like we'll have a lot more tolerance if we shitload of scary games. But I wonder if we get tired of them after a while.
It depends on how they're done. Like, you know, Phasmophobia is going to be a scary game, but it's going to be completely unique to any of the other scary games, you know. But a lot of the other ones are kind of samey. Like Madison, hopefully that'll be more of a double A type title. But a lot of them are, remember, what was the other one? Afterlife? That came out like a couple of months ago. It's really kind of low budget. You're in the asylum. It felt like looking at Don't Knock Twice Again or something like that. So those ones, I think you get sick of those after a while. But like this looks high quality.
The quality has to be there. The quality has to be there for VR. Like if a horror game has bad quality or has jank to it or like something like bad voice acting, it just takes you right out of it. Like it just ruins horror game big time. So that's why some of those, like a lot of those horror games on the first PlayStation VR, I didn't even get just because the quality didn't look.
Yeah,
Right.
Like one of the earliest ones I got was like the Brookhaven Experiment, which is kind of like a wave shooter as well, mixed with horror, but it was kind of, you know, it was all right because it was like one of the first games ever, but still pretty shit looking back in it today.
Right.
I like that.
And I feel like
that one. What was that Frequency one on for VR?
Frequency.
the persistence? No.
No. That
You mean Frequency?
something.
Not the one
You were
where you
in this-
tap and then you see sound or something like that, is it? Or
No.
Huh.
No.
I don't think there was a game like that, was it?
Frequency? Anyone in the chat know what the hell he's talking about? Is this a maple syrup induced hallucination?
Maybe some indie game from Canada or something.
Could be never released outside the Canadian port, British Columbia only.
I might be completely off with the names.
Damn.
Gamertag says, I still remember when N64 games were £70 at launch. Damn, games are cheap now. But back then, like, they had them N64s, the big cartridges, and it
Yeah.
was just way more expensive.
What was your first video game that you bought with your the first one? Okay, this is because I remember. Maybe you don't, but
That would just completely cut you out there, whatever you said. Like the whole
I
sentence,
hate
the
you.
whole
Any of that
sentence
one.
is gone.
So I hate you all.
I think you were going to tell us your first game you bought, and then it just cut.
I was asking you what's the first game you bought with your money? First game.
Yeah, but then you were saying because I, and then it just cut.
Because I hate you all and I want to know.
Jesus, I can't remember. What was the very first game I bought with my own money?
Can't remember?
No, I struggle to remember. Like, does it count if it's like birthday money? And it's like, go get, because I was just going to get the game for my birthday anyway.
Sure,
and
yeah.
But if that's the case, Dino Crisis on PS1.
Damn.
I can't find the name of it. It was the one that Elijah Wood had to do with. You guys remember?
Oh, right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Transference.
Transference. That's what I
I
was.
remember
trying
that.
to think of.
I got the code for that.
I thought that was pretty good. I like that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder if
The
Elijah
demo was
Wood
pretty good.
watched me play that? I always wonder if he watched my stream. Maybe he did.
No.
He probably did.
No.
He probably did.
No, barely anybody watched
Probably
your
did. I
stream.
bet Frodo Baggins sitting down watching the stream.
Himself.
Who knows?
He had to. He had to
could be
go
one of the people
online. He had to.
chatting.
He had to see everyone that was playing his game.
What if he's Crumb?
Must have.
What if Frodo Baggins is Crumb? That could be Elijah Wood right there. You wouldn't even know. Chatting away.
Man, Mr. Frodo. In the chat.
Frodo? Is that you, Frodo?
Hasselhoff VR? I don't know what he's talking about. First game was Resident Evil 1 on Sega
Hasselhoff.
Saturn. GT's first game was Flashback on Amiga. It's damn
What the
straight
fuck
out
is
the
that?
The 1980s.
Flashback.
1900s.
Polo Position was Movie Master Mix. First game.
What the fuck? All these guys in here Google these.
Position.
That sounds.
Dan Dilly Danga Pong, the original. He was there for the birth.
You're excited. You're excited for the remake of Flashback GT? That looks pretty good.
It's a remake.
Remake of the old classic. Yeah, that was a big one for me too.
Might move on to the next topic, which is, if I can find it, Broken Edge. Broken Edge has been announced for PSVR 2. It is a sword combat game with a, as you can see in the video, cartoony kind of a style to it. It's very colorful, a lot of pastels, pastel colors going on there. And Muzz, you wrote this, you asked a question. I'll just give it a little bit of facts. Coming out the 19th of September, and when it was released on other platforms, including Quest, I think it got mixed-ish reviews, like maybe 6 out of 10s, that kind of thing. You ask, Muzz. Well, it's your question. You ask.
I'm just wondering if is VR a good is VR a good fit for sword fighting in general? Just
Yes.
from
With no
think
lag.
so?
With no lag. There has to be no lag.
The right game. You can ask Decepticon because he remembers the game, but there's a couple games in PCVR that do sword fighting and the physics very well.
Blade and
It's kind of
Sorcery.
like
Blade and Sorcery.
I think it's Blade and Sorcery. It's like
But
Hell's
Saints
Blizzard
and
as well.
Sinners.
Hell's Blizzard and Blade and Sorcery. They're like the two.
One of those, yeah. That's the best. Yeah.
but you fundamentally can't do the physics right, because if you're swinging a sword, there's no sword to stop against.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yeah,
I might
you
be
got a point. Yeah,
I might be alone on this one, but like
No, I see what you mean.
every sword game just devolves into you just doing this with your hand
Yeah, you're
and like
wagging
killing
with
the
this,
enemy.
I suppose.
Like there's no physics, there's no weight, there's no contact. There's
Did you
no
ever
contact.
did you ever play Golem or Golem on PSVR 1? Which is another game that's actually quite good that I forgot
I
about.
mean Gorn?
Not Gorn, no, it was Golem, Golem.
Golem.
You were a little girl and she could teleport or she could possess giant stone golems and they'd fight each other. But the way they did that is they kind of limited, like you couldn't do what you described there, Muzz. You have to be more careful. You have to be very, you have to block a certain way.
Yeah,
and,
you have to put the sword where you're supposed to put the sword, and then
Yeah.
you have to like follow the.
but you, like it,
follow-
it would like ramp up in intensity, so those attacks would come in quick and
But-
you had to move kind of fast,
Fuck, I don't even know because I was gonna get cut. But can you say that about every game? Like, because it's all about immersion. I feel like, right? Like you said, you're losing a lot of sword to stop your hits or whatever. I do feel like this game, especially if they bring in a PSVR, it does have some type of immersion that it's not completely like horrible. I think it does work pretty good. But I'm saying example like Firewall 0 Hour, Pavlov, you got the feedback on the controls was make it a lot better, but it's not even close of how real life is, right? So how much does that translate into, being immersive? And I don't even know if I got cut.
No, we heard
we
it.
heard most of that.
I hate you.
Unfortunately.
I think that I don't know. Just something about sword fighting in VR just never appealed to me because like
Yeah.
the whole thing about sword fighting is about pacing and like movement and collision, and you can do that on flat screen games, but you can't control, like if you're making a VR game, you have like the NPC character that you're fighting, they're set to a certain animation and routine, where when you match that with like a flat game where your character they have a set movement, you're controlling them, but they move at the pace that the game like requires the character to swing the and like the animations, where you jump into a VR game with like they don't have any control over how you're swinging the doesn't
You've infected Muzz. He's cutting out now. Are you hearing this as well, Jack?
Whatever you got going on.
Can you hear him cutting?
Yes, I can hear him
Well,
cutting.
that wasn't happening before. He spent too much time with you.
Nah,
I gotta move his window box closer to me. Get him away from you.
It's seeping into my computer.
I think we heard most of that, but then like halfway through that, it kind of started to get a bit choppy.
Like, I can more understand like something like a boxing game, because at least a boxing game is just direct punches. So even though your hand might go through the character, you still could, see what you're doing in terms of like punching back and forth, kind of going straight. But I don't know. It's just something. Am I the only one? Does anyone else in chat feel that way about sword games? Like I just never see the appeal to them, because it, like, even like if you want to make a good like versus, like player versus player, that could never work either, because like there's no stopping with the swords.
Right. I think it depends, like I said, on how much immersion, like you say, you're expecting, and I think as maybe you gotta play whenever, if these games come out, the Blade and Sword. I think the Blade and Sorcerer is good, but the other one is hell yeah, it is better than you think, but it's not great. It is, to your point, you are right, Muzz. It's probably one of the games that is the least,
it requires,
close to reality. Yeah, because it does require a lot more of the, you say, stopping, the physical contact type of stuff in order to be more immersive. But I still think it's better than what, not that you might, because you might have your own opinions and what you like, but I do think that there's spots for it here in the VR if they make it right. But it's not going to be as good as, like you said, another game that doesn't require as much of that. But they just have to make it right. But yeah, you're right. I do agree a lot in that it's not the best.
It doesn't play to the strengths of VR. Like, it doesn't matter what sword game you play. If I swing my sword, my hand's going to keep going in this motion, but my sword stop here as my hand keeps going. So it just
it requires more of a suspension of disbelief than any other type of game.
Well, there's so many other genres that like take advantage of like not losing that. Like if you have like magic, like not the combat with swords, but that's just me.
Actually, yeah, Fozzie Bear. I'm just looking at the chat. By the way, GT, thanks for stopping by. And by the way, GT worked with Fast Travel Games on this game. He made a comment about it up here. This game we're talking about, Broken Edge. He says, when I worked for Fast Travel, I also worked with Broken Edge. It's a great game and a rare case where it looks much better in the headset than on social screen. It's a tactical fighter, he said.
Yeah. But this one is player versus player, right? Like in
yes, it is
Broken
1v1.
Edge.
But so, Fozzie Bear brought up a good point to address what you were saying, or maybe counteract it. He thinks Walking Dead did a good job of what yours, because you got swords in that game too.
Saints and Sinners.
Really good. It gave everything a sense of weight, like even though your hands were still going.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Walking Dead did right is you grab their head, and because you're holding them stationary, you have the contact.
But you got a sword. You can get a katana, and you can get all kinds of like machetes.
And you can do that in this game too. The one that I mentioned, you can grab, and it's like the physics, and you can grab the characters, and
it's different. It's different when you're swinging a sword and you cut through somebody. Like if you swing a sword and there's no there's no break in the immersion because your hand is
Okay,
still
yeah.
going in the direction.
That's a good point.
You're not stopping. That's why, say, like, if they ever do, like, a really good Star saber, that would make more sense in my head, because if you're swinging a lightsaber, it's meant to cut through. So, like, there would be no stopping your blade, because you're just going to be, like, cutting in half.
It's just-
So
But what about when it hits the other sword, the other lightsaber? You know, it has to completely
you would
stop.
you would
and
have
it
to
won't.
make a game where you don't fight anyone with the lightsaber. You'd have to be like fighting, like, stormtroopers and other enemies that can't stop your blade, I guess.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe
good
if it's
point.
1v1 like that, it might not. But if it's like you said, a little bit mixed, kind of like, obviously Saints and Sinners is just zombies, right? But it can be a mixture of different characters. Character with a shield and one of those things
Yeah.
spin around with a little ball with spikes and shit. So
That's why
I agree with you. I don't think it's best for that, but I do think that it can still exist and
Yeah.
do okay if they make it. And that's the thing, they got to make it right. I think it's hard for those type of games to work and be
It is.
successful.
It's very hard. That's why
'Cause
when
it's
I
harder,
played
like you said. Yeah.
when I played Skyrim, I did not use swords at all. It was either bow and arrow or magic. Like, no swords in
That's a
that
good
game.
point. I did the same.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow only.
Mm-hmm.
Except for
Does
like
that
when doing
work?
the stealth kills with the dagger, because then it would just be you knew you were going to kill them straight away, and there wasn't going to be a follow up, so you could do the quick slice. And
Yeah.
it felt more
It's
realistic.
it's not combat. That's just a quick stab in their
Yeah,
dick.
yeah.
That works.
Uh,
Just I don't know how they can perfect it. Like, I don't know what VR can ever do to, like, make sword combat actually feel like combat should.
I don't think you can ever.
Yeah.
You can
I don't
Until
never
you
really
get
do
plugged
that.
in, plug into the matrix,
Yeah,
and
you need
Yeah.
to be in your brain. It's
stimulates.
Elon Musk's chips in your brain. That's what you need for that. But I don't think you're never going to get a controller that can do that.
That's why I always tend to lean towards the VR games that make sense for VR. Like, anything like that you're driving, like a vehicle, like Gran Turismo, or any flight games like that. Aces of Thunder. That game is going to be awesome for me, just because, like, if you're in a cockpit, you're like, it doesn't break anything with the VR immersion. It just fits perfectly, like when you're flying a plane or something. So
You know what could work for sword fighting games? If you go more the AOR route. What if you get yourself a little boxing dummy or something like that, and you put a little stick in his hand or something, and then the AOR overlays that, so it feels like you're actually hitting a target,
and the character's just standing like this, like
Yeah, this is still, the brain will fill in the gaps, the brain will fill in them gaps. Chopped is going to bed. Night, Chopped. Thanks for stopping by and watching.
later chopped.
GG Chop. I hope you feel better. Get the weed in the system.
Kisses better. Hugs and kisses. Finn Tactical says, no need for sword fighting games. Play Saints Row and swing dildos. Damn. I'd like to see
Yeah,
the
that
haptic
could work.
feedback. The haptic feedback in a soft floppy dildo. Giant strength gyros, says Chrome, but the problem there is like you can hit once and then the batteries need to be charged again, and your arm is broken from the
Yeah.
the shock. An Android fencer. There you go. Boston Scientific or whatever. Remember Boston? Are they the ones making the robot dogs? You just need to make a little robot with the sword, and he can fight against you, and then you're an AOR. That's how he does. It's only going to cost a few $100,000.
Like the Golem game. The Golem game came close with like the timing based combat, like where you have to like follow a pattern and stuff for the combat, and not making about like totally just slashing the enemy like that. But
yeah, you have to be clever with this to
yeah,
do stuff like that, I guess.
maybe a right developer will come along and just maybe this game will be it. Broken Edge.
Maybe.
Maybe they'll get the formula down.
GT says it's tactical, and like you can look up some information on it, and it is like, do you charge up your sword to do a critical hit, or do you do this or whatever, so there's like a lot of rock paper scissors type of stuff going on there. And
something else that might work in terms of sword fighting would be is if they made it like really realistic. You remember those old PlayStation games, like I think they were called Bushido blades.
I know the name.
Where it's just like those kind of like one you hit them once and they're dead.
Yeah.
Like you have to be really really careful with like how you. There is a VR game like that. Now that I think about it, but
there's a new game, well, not new, like in the last few years, I think it's like Full Court or something like that, where it's like a 1v1 and kind of looks like a Street Fighter type thing, but if you get hit once with the sword, you're fucked.
yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm just trying to think of the name of it. it had like the different like you could be like a pirate, you could be like a ninja, like different kind of classes of different ages. But like it's like it was very realistic. Like you stab and then you're like
They were
really
down.
hurt if you get
Yeah.
stabbed. Yeah,
And you get
that
like a
kind of
flag every
right.
time you hit them, or something.
If you did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds lame.
It's flat.
Why?
But that would be cool
Why?
in VR though. That would be cool in VR.
No, if you
Yeah,
translate
I'm
it
just
to
fucking
VR,
around.
yeah.
I'm just fucking
I'm going to move on to the last topic, which isn't too big in terms of news or whatever, but it's going to be about Firewall Ultra, which I'm sure one or two of you have heard about in the
Yep.
chat. Basically, and I think it was Deadeye Dan who brought this to my attention, so thank you, Deadeye Dan, for putting this in the Discord. So they've explained that the silence on Firewall Ultra was due to them following protocols. Now, they didn't say Sony did it, but obviously they're the protocols they're following are Sony's. And that they will be able to talk about it because they've recently received guidelines from Sony. So we're expecting to hear answers to some questions soon before launch, hopefully. Maybe not much, but something will be better than nothing. And also another kind of a similar to like it's on the same vein, but basically they confirmed that there's nobody's getting early review copies. Nobody's getting Firewall Ultra before it launches. And a lot of people are like, oh, that means it's shit, they're hiding something, etc., etc. Now, if you want to believe that, that's fine, you can believe that. Firewall 0 Hour is the exact same way. They've explained that the reason is because that's not the experience you get. So if there was like a private, 4v4 of early reviewers, they're not going to experience it the same way we would when, the floodgates are opened, everyone's in there. Because if you remember, Firewall 0 Hour actually had a lot of, like the first 48 hours had a lot of issues with, blue screens and shit like that. So if that was
a lot of
because it was
issues all the
overload or
time.
whatever, so this I think is better for reviews because people will actually get to see what it's actually like when it's out in the wild, not in a controlled environment,
True.
So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. So Chrome asked guidelines, but basically they've asked Sony what they can talk about. This is my interpretation of it, what they can say, what they can talk about, and Sony have replied saying, okay, you can say this, you can say that, but don't say this, don't say that. That's what I think they mean when they say guidelines. Anyway, sorry, I've talked too much.
Yes, you have. Unfortunately, they probably have a list already of, like you said, guidelines. This is what you can talk, but I don't think they're gonna let. I mean, we're a week away. How much are they gonna let talk? They're not gonna. Oh, go ahead, go crazy, tell every features. Or I don't think we're gonna get anything. Pretty much, just basic things here and there.
Well,
And I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, why Sony's doing that. If a lot of people, we play Firewall, but a lot of people don't. If you want to sell headsets, like, this is the best game you're probably going to have. Like, show it, And they can show it afterwards, but it's like, I don't know.
On the Firewall, or the First Contact Discord, they did have a section where like a month ago, they said, okay, put all your Firewall questions here about Ultra, and we'll try and get permission from Sony to answer as many of these as we can. So I think that's what it is, like that they're going to try and answer as many of those as they can. And a lot of the questions are like, stuff that everyone wants to know. People have been asking for ages. For example, Crumb here is saying that he wants a compass so that we can make easier callouts, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
But I don't know if it's going to be in there.
That is a great idea, because the call out sometimes is...
It's hard.
It's like behind you. What the fuck do you mean
Beside
behind
the
you?
fucking
Where?
seed machine, the washing machines or whatever on containment.
Yeah. You just call out whatever you see around you. I'm by the wall and the door.
Yeah, some people are better at callouts than others. I'm pretty shit at them myself. Donnie says we overloaded their servers on 0 Hour launch. Firewall Ultra has dedicated servers, so this won't be an issue performance-wise. But if it's not that, it could be something else. So wouldn't you rather have a review of the actual finished product that's out in the wild rather than one that was based on, 4 hours played behind closed doors, journalists versus devs,
Well, they might still have that early demo playing. Isn't that still a thing they might do before the game comes out?
Well, they said they wanted to do a stream, like a live stream, which I assume will be devs v devs, their own private build.
Right.
But,
I'm fine with that, though. But
yeah, but that won't be a review. There won't be like, oh, based on this, it's a
No.
10 out of 10. We'll just give you an idea.
No. Yeah. At this point, honestly, I don't need it anymore. We're 8 days away.
I know.
I'm just-
I know. Well, yeah, but I can understand why people want more
Yeah.
information. There's nothing wrong with that. And Sony have been little bitches for hiding all
It's
the
like-
details that we want. Like, it's crazy.
Sony just want just the sales for the people that they know are gonna buy it. Are they not interested in like all the other people that
Exactly.
don't know about Firewall?
Exactly. It's baffling. But then I will remind people that, you know, we didn't even know Gran Turismo 7 was getting VR until 40 days before that came out. And we had to wait a long time to see gameplay of it. Like the week, like a few days before it came out, that's the first time we got to see an actual race happening in
And that
one
technically
car.
is quite a bigger title than Firewall. Nothing against Firewall, but I mean in terms
Yeah.
of like a gaming name, if they did it with Gran Turismo, then
Yeah, that they're going to do with Firewall. It's just
They're gonna
it's just
do it.
their attitude to VR 2 is just ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they sure better not be counting on like the gaming websites and stuff to promote it for them, because that's not going to happen.
No.
Do you think IGN's going to have a big
won't even
thing
know.
on
They won't even
Firewall
know
when it
it's out.
launches? They won't even
Nah.
know.
They will
They'll
not
have
even
a-
know.
they'll
If
have-
anything, they'll shit on it.
They'll have a review like 3 weeks after the fact, and they'll
Mm.
just be like a 3-minute little video about like, yeah, it works pretty okay. It's all right.
But I'm going. It's Sony's fault. Sony's fault.
Yeah.
It's all on their shoulders.
Exactly.
Suit people in suits, the lizard people in suits, making those decisions.
The lack of marketing may delay pre-order sales, but in the long run, the sales will still be there. And yeah, I think it's just a lot of people who are worried about the reviews and like think it's sketchy or whatever. Then just wait the extra day. Watch the streams of people who are buying it day one. Make your own opinion on it, and see what the
Yeah.
early impressions are and stuff from people who are actually playing it. I think it's going to be good. I'll be shocked if it's bad. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying I'll be very, very shocked if it's bad.
It's gonna be the same Firewall, just slightly better with the graphics and new features. And
And
if
I'll-
there's any issues, it's gonna be like technical issues.
Yeah, and I'll be the
Sucking.
first. I'll be the first to be complaining about that too if the game launches and it's kind of broken and not
Yeah.
functioning properly, and there's bugs and glitches all over the place. I won't be happy.
Yeah.
I'll be definitely talking about that.
Germ says, don't you think Nathy and possibly others might show something soon, since he was there a couple of weeks ago? And that's a good point. I meant to mention this sooner, but yeah, Nathy was at First Contact Entertainment's office. He definitely played the game. He didn't say it, but I think, oh God, what was it? There was a poll or something like this, and it might have been my poll. I was like, what August game are you most looking forward to? You know, I had Crossfire, I had Firewall Ultra, and he played the Crossfire as well. And he said Firewall Ultra in the response. Like, you know, it seemed like he was excited about it.
After playing,
And
it,
this would have
yeah.
been after playing us, so this was recently enough.
Well, you
So
should
I
have called
think that's a
Hess.
hint.
Should be like, you should have flew me.
I'm not.
Fly me
He's got like
around.
1 million subscribers. So
Right,
it's more,
but
it's more. He's gonna
I
make a
know,
splash. He's
I
gonna make a splash.
I know
Maybe
one
he's gonna
video,
have a
one
day one footage.
3-minute video about how cool the game is. And I get it, but you know, they send you won't
Give me
stop
a level
talking about it for the next 10 years.
If he can have a lot of good positive feedback on his channel, and other guys like Jacksepticon, like if he plays it as well, like that'll get the word out, I guess, for some bigger YouTubers
Oh
to
yeah.
be showing it off and singing its praises.
But like, is that for so people can buy the PSVR 2? Because is that where they're trying to target? Because
they don't
people
want-
who
they
have
don't want people to buy
PSVR
it.
2, and people who if they want people who have PSVR 2s already, most people, yeah, they watch Nathan, watch other, they also watch.
Sony doesn't want us talking about PSVR 2 right now. They're going to shut us down if we talk too much longer.
We're all gonna fucking get assassinated tomorrow. They're gonna pull us from stores. They're gonna act like it never happened. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll be like next year.
Yeah,
You know
I
what?
don't care.
We tried. We're giving up.
Little bitches.
But you know, the only thing giving me hope is that we don't know anything about the PS5's future either. You know, after Spider-Man, and obviously there's the Wolverine game as well, but we don't know what Naughty Dog are doing. We don't know what Blue Point are doing. Insomniac, you know, so many, not Insomniac.
There's all
Sucker
the
Punch.
rumors too about the PlayStation Pro or the PS5 Pro.
Mm.
That's a big rumor that's going around now. Like, when's that going to hit? So
Yeah, I think they're saying
Like, are they-
holiday 24.
are they gonna start hyping up VR2 once the PS5 Pro comes out because it can like handle bigger games or something? Like, are they waiting for that?
I thought this could handle bigger games. You know, I thought this
Yeah,
was.
I know. It should be able to, but they're just
Yeah.
not
It
making.
can. They're just not doing it. I think
Well,
it can
we've
handle
seen
a
them.
lot more.
We've seen them. We've seen Resident Evil 8. We've seen Gran Turismo.
Yes, they're there.
They're big games. They already exist. We just need to
Fuzzy,
make more.
Fuzzy Bear says, after Solaris, I'm cautious now. I think that's understandable, but the one thing I will say about Solaris is that that was not funded by Sony, whereas Firewall is a Sony IP and it has their backing. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped Solaris because Sony came back again. If you look at the timing of the release, like, because they're all very tight together, and Sony like, hey, we want you back. Drop this Solaris stuff and come back to Firewall, or else here's a check. But yeah, if you are cautious, just wait. I'm confident there's going to be positive day one, feedback from everyone playing it.
Yep. I don't. No, fine. I
There'll be
mean, I don't know.
problems. There'll be
Honestly, I don't.
problems.
But I don't know. I mean, I get people being hesitant, especially Sony's not even try to market because they're not trying to market. But
God, you're cutting out real bad.
the trailer.
Sony's
you.
starting to cut us out.
Sony, God damn it, I hate you.
I can hear that every time you go, I hate you or whatever. You hear that perfectly, crystal
Well, maybe
clear.
I need to do that. Yeah, it's like playing Phasmophobia. The ghosts only talk to me when I'm mean to them.
Want to try and get that point out again?
I hate you, and
Okay.
Sony
No, we
sucks.
heard that one. We heard that one.
Sony
That one
sucks
came
at
through loud and
marketing, and that's it.
I would predict for you now the day one negatives of Firewall Ultra will be you can't reload manually, even though we already have that negative, and the grenade thrown with the eyes, that'll be another one.
Yeah, but I
gonna-
think those are gonna be people are gonna complain, but I don't think it's gonna stick as much.
I think
I'm gonna have fun playing it regardless, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
ditto.
People can complain.
I think we're gonna complain us more about the up pass if we can't buy certain items with the prices. All that I think that might be more of what we might complain more, because like you said, the other stuff we already know. Manual reload, all that.
Yeah. Crump says my wishlist / headset seller. The next version of Dead or Alive Extreme and it being a PSVR 2 compatible. Isn't that like the sexy anime girls in bikinis fighting each other? Is that what that is?
Oh, Tsuki will know about that.
Yeah, he will. He'll know all about it. I think secretly the PS5 is having problem running games that are at target frame and performance as Gaiden Prime. It honestly should push the VR 2 through the roof, but it's barely hitting it at all or seems bottlenecked.
What's the best looking PSVR 2 game right now? Is it
Kayak
Horizon?
VR. Kayak VR. But it's very basic. It's very easy to make a game like that look good, I suppose, when it's just going around the place in the kayak. Maybe Red Matter 2?
Red Matter 2 is pretty close, yeah. Damn, that was such a good game. If that could have just been longer, it could have been a great VR game.
They just need the funding.
Yep. Maybe if it did well enough, they'll make another one, and it'll be a bigger experience. But
Germ says his biggest worry is still matchmaking. Seems like nobody can get that right at launch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe at launch we'll just do private matches. I don't know. But then if you're doing private, you don't get the experience and you don't get to unlock stuff. So I don't really know what we're going to do day one. We got to figure that out quick.
Well, if we can't play normally, we have to do private. It's fine for one.
Oh, yeah,
time.
the
But yeah,
matchmaking is
I
fun.
do prefer to. Yeah, I do prefer to unlock shit. To be
it's
honest.
got dedicated servers, so it's gonna be better than the first Firewall 0 hour.
But does that guarantee no issues with matchmaking?
Well, that's just internal stuff in terms of on their end, I guess.
Donnie is convinced that because of dedicated servers, there will not be matchmaking issues. But I'm not technical. I know what dedicated servers is. I know it should eliminate the host migration issues.
The matchmaking problems will be individual problems, like your own internet.
Okay.
Your own internet is not having.
It's your fault, bitch.
Standards. Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that we're gonna get issues eventually. Well, maybe about the
Unless they're
matchmaking levels.
Oh, yeah.
Who has higher level and play, and oh my god, I keep getting pair with the other team that it's always high level destroyed, and that's not gonna be fun for a lot of.
Or how the matchmaking goes in terms of pairing a team of 4 with another team of 4. Like if you're going in by yourself, are you gonna get thrown against with 3 random people with you and against a team of 4 kind of thing? That could be. That's That's the only problem possible.
Decepticon says we have a new game to play on stream as well. Labyrinthine.
Oh yeah, that actually looks good and has good reviews. I
That-
haven't looked at it
that
because I don't want
PC one?
spoilers, but it's a PC, it's a VR game. I think it's scary, but it looks way better. That one actually has good reviews.
Multiplayer.
It's just a lot of games, yeah, at multiplayer.
Okay.
There's a lot of games that they can bring to the PSVR 2 that are good already. Because having ports is not a bad thing. I think it's actually the opposite because the ports of PSVR 2, they're usually the. So,
Well, we're still waiting for Half-Life Alex. That's the big one. That's the big port that has to happen. It
yeah,
has to.
it's good, but yeah,
Um,
more hyped about Firewall and Phasmo, to be honest, than Half-Life.
Oh yeah, me too. But I'm just saying in terms of like a big IP that everybody knows.
Fuck yeah, yeah.
It's gonna
We
be
need that
Half-Life.
on the PSVR 2. Yeah.
Crumb says hopium that it all works okay day one with the servers. Yeah. Did Jackpot buy that shit, Dice? Sorry, I shouldn't be reading that out loud.
Yes.
Just catching up on comments here. Guidance says we need 3 or 2 games from different companies that work together and combine form one in different genres. I'm having trouble comprehending some of these. Am I reading them incorrectly?
Probably.
Something that could also help VR in general is just if any developers like figure out like a really solid game mechanic for a certain play style, like doesn't matter if it's like shooting or like reloading or just different mechanics. Like if anyone like cracks like a really solid way to do it that works great, I think more should like do the same to make it kind of like easier for gamers to go from one game to another instead of having to like learn completely different.
You mean like with first-person shooters on console, how everyone used the triggers to do this, and crouch was always circle button, and then it went to click or whatever.
Yeah,
Standardized
yeah,
control
like,
schemes.
it doesn't have to be completely exactly the same, but just like the very like rudimentary mechanics should be somewhat similar. Just like if it works, like don't try to make it weird just for the sake of doing it differently, because then you have to like learn all these different gameplay styles. But
yeah, I think with the controllers we have now, that's a lot more feasible. We got actual sticks, you know.
yeah,
And grips.
Like,
The grip buttons are always going to be gripping things.
I'm a really big fan of like the cover style where you put your hand on the thing to like move like that. Like I don't know why. Yeah, I think that should just be like a common thing now in VR games.
Okay,
Like
I
if
see
you're
what you
like in cover, that should just be like when you play a shooter, you know, like, oh, this is how you do a cover mechanic.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
it should
That's
just
a good
be
point.
a
That's
solid
a good
thing.
point. I thought you meant like controllers, but like button schemes and stuff. But you're actually
No.
talking about in-game mechanics.
In-game mechanics,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it just works perfectly. I don't know why everyone doesn't do that, because it makes sense and everyone can understand it easily. Like
Maybe it's patented.
move.
You know, these bitches like to patent any kind of mechanic they come across. Remember the Nemesis
Maybe.
system in Lord of the Rings? Like no other
Yeah, I
game is
guess
allowed
so.
to do that.
Oh, that was a good game.
That
That shit
was
was good.
That shit was good.
It works and you can mind fuck them.
Marcelo says, can you guys explain what differs Firewall Ultra from Pavlov and why is it better? Is it better? Don't usually play first-person shooters. So, first of all, we don't know if it's going to be better because we haven't played it and we haven't seen much gameplay of it. But if it's like the predecessor, which is Firewall Zero, where it's a much more tactical kind of a game, whereas Pavlov, I would compare it to Call of Duty, and I would say Firewall is more like Rainbow Six Siege. If that makes any sense to you at all. I don't know if you're familiar with those games, but that's how I'd put that.
Like Pavlov, depending on the mode in Pavlov, like if you're just playing regular team deathmatch, if you die, you're just
Damn, what's
spawn right back
happening? Did I
in.
lose you, bitches?
What?
No, I can still hear
You're
you.
still here. We can all hear you. All right. He can't. Can you hear? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Oh, he's gonna say some wild shit now
Jackpot?
because he thinks we're gone. He thinks we're gone. I'm gonna message.
Well, we're
him.
pretty much done now anyway, so
Yeah. We didn't get any fax machine questions, so we don't have anything to say in the fax. Yeah, we better skip it before he says some crazy shit. Jerm is saying most games are dedicated servers these days, and there's still matchmaking issues.
yeah. For the
Although-
question about the difference between Firewall and Pavlov, if you're not into games where like if you like Pavlov because it's just constant gameplay, like if you get killed, you just spawn back in and you just keep playing. If you don't like when you die, you have to wait till the match is over until you play again, then it might not be your thing because there is some waiting involved if you die fast.
Yeah.
But I mean, you still have something to do. You do still look through cameras to like help your team, but you're not shooting yourself. Like you're not in the gameplay.
Plus the whole revive mechanic as well in
No,
Firewall
my cat
that
is-
isn't there in Pavlov. But Pavlov does have search and destroy, which is kind of the closest you can get to Firewall in Pavlov. But overall, I would say Firewall is the more tactical, you know, and the maps and stuff like that are maybe better designed and whatnot. Rainbow feels more realistic, I guess. Let's see. I'd say probably more realistic. Although Pavlov does has the realistic reloading, whereas Firewall won't. So in that sense, it won't be realistic. How can I hear him and you can't? No, we can hear him, but he can't hear us. And he's not talking though. He's just gonna sit there and look at his penis apparently. Can't hear you bitches. Your Mac Wi-Fi. All right.
Yeah, I'm not talking because I can't hear you guys.
Son of a bitch. Audio's still fine. It's Jackpot's end. Of course, it's Jackpot's end. It's always his end. It's probably my laptop about to explode or something. But that's a good point. We can end it
I'm just
there.
gonna listen to you through the fucking stream because I
He's
can't
gonna
hear
be
you
like 20 minutes
bitches.
behind now. What am I doing? That's Ultra. We'll turn that off. And Muzz, thank you for joining me. Jackpot, if you're watching this later on, if you can hear me, thanks for joining as well. Everyone in the chat,
I hate you.
thanks for watching. And thanks for the comments.
BG.
And if you like the video or whatever, that'll be appreciated. And we'll see you in the next one. All right? Goodbye.
What the fuck is this?
BG, goodbye. I don't know if you can hear me. If you so, I hate you. Goodbye. Oh, now I can hear you fine. I can hear you.
Oh. It must have.
Your mic Wi-Fi. Something to do with your mic Wi-Fi. You know, my thing is fine.
That's right. I gotta go. My wife's waiting for me to pick her up from work, so.
Yeah. She's been waiting outside in
No.
the rain for 2 hours. God
No,
damn it, Maz, I want a divorce.
She just got off work now, so it'll be fine for me to leave now. But it ended at a good time. No, it ended at a good time. Later. Bye.
GG. GG.